Hey folks, Dave back here. Just wrapped up my 1978 football project. I thought I'd come on and do a little late night chat here, semi late night chat, if you will. And who knows, we might have a couple people pop on and join us in a few minutes. You never know. But I just want to come on tonight and just say hi and see what's going on with everybody. And yeah, I wrapped up my Pro Strategy Football. Boy, I started getting back into that again. That is just a fun game. And of course, the new one comes out. When's the new one come out? 2 weeks? The 12th, I heard. So 10 days, maybe. Maybe in 10 days. So looking forward to that. Although I would like to start a new project, but with the new game coming out, I don't think I'd finish the new project by the time the new game comes out. So I might as well wait for the new one to come out and do that. So I'll have to find a couple other things to do for 10 days as I head into busy season. But that was a fun one. 1978 football season, and it was the Dallas Cowboys taking it all. They beat up the Raiders pretty good in the championship game. The best game probably was the AFC Championship with Oakland taking on Pittsburgh in the snow. Errol Mann hits a 45-yard field goal at clutch time. I think actually, was that the go-ahead? I'm trying to remember if that just got him close, if that was the go-ahead. But Errol Mann hit 3 field goals. It was 16-14 Oakland. Pittsburgh with I think it was a 4th and 7 around the 35-yard line of Oakland. And it was either go for it on 4th and 7 or kick the field goal. Either way, it was if you didn't get the field goal, game's over. If you didn't make the first down, the game's over. And so I went for the field goal with, I think it was like a 38% chance of hitting the field goal with Roy Durella, and he missed it. He missed it wide right. And so Oakland went on to win. But that was probably the best game. In the snow, classic matchup, Steelers-Raiders. That was a good one. The Cowboys just stomped. As Fenner stops by, he missed the Super Bowl. That's all right. I put it up so if you want to see it, you can see it. It wasn't that good of a game anyway. But, yeah, it was Cowboys crushed everybody. I think they lost 2 games all year. They lost to the Cardinals, if you can believe it. The Cardinals, how bad they were. They lost to the Cardinals in overtime. And in the other Cardinals game, they only beat them by like a field goal. So they had trouble with St. Louis Cardinals, and they actually lost a game to the Giants as well. And I think that Giants game, there wasn't any touchdowns. I think it was like 9-6 or something like that. So it was a really weird couple of games that they lost. But they ended up going all the way. They beat up the Rams pretty good in the championship game. They beat the Packers fairly easily. So they just stomped over teams. I think in my Super Bowl replay, Dorsett had something like 230 yards rushing. They couldn't stop him. The Raiders just could not stop Dorsett. And the Doomsday defense just wouldn't let the Raiders run. So it was up to Stabler through the air, and he didn't get it done. And Fanner says, his 80 Chargers laid an egg against the Redskins and took the loss. Oh, that's a bummer. I know that you've been kind of playing along with that one there. The game is unpredictable, and you can lose against just about anyone. Well, that's how real football is. I mean, how many times have you seen a good team either struggle or lose to a bad team? It can happen. It really can. It can happen anytime. One thing I tried to do with this replay, because the Patriots were a good team in '78. They had a decent record and good running backs. Holy cow, good running backs. I really tried to detach myself emotionally from that team, because as we talked about before on the show, you have your favorite teams that you like to play, and while you're playing those teams, you're emotional about them. You want them to win. And there's other teams that you don't like that you're like, I hope they don't win. And then sometimes you're indifferent, but you're like, yeah, I think I like this team a little bit better. I really, really tried in this replay to play it square, play it fair down the middle, and not really, I don't say not really care, but really to not unconsciously try to sabotage anybody into winning or losing, because I wanted this to be fun. Again, it's all fake. It's all fictitious. I even played the wrong schedule, for crying out loud. So right from the get-go, I messed up the replay. But the idea is I wanted to be fun, and I didn't want to slant it so New England won or slant it because so someone else lost. So I think I played it down the middle, putting my emotions aside for the most part. Was I happy when New England won? Yeah. Was I happy when Tampa Bay won? Yeah. But I wasn't going to do anything to help that along, you know. And again, I don't think anybody really does that, but I think unconsciously we want our teams to win, and we might, you know, give a little something or extra or whatever. You know, it just happens. It's normal, but yeah, no, I try to put emotions aside and do that. David C. stopping by. Very enjoy a replay of the 78th season. That was fun. It's been a while since I've done a project and finished a project and put it all together like that, and it was such a good time. It really was. And seeing a lot of the names back then, seeing how bad the kickers were back then, seeing how bad the quarterbacks, I don't say how bad they were, but they weren't throwing like today. You know, you weren't whizzing the ball around like they are today. It just didn't happen. Although if you go back and watch replays and you see the replays of these games, you think these quarterbacks were amazing, the way they were throwing the ball. But yeah, they were tough. So there was that. Fun time though. Looking forward to doing the next one, but again, I'll have to pull something else out over the next 10 days and see what I can play while I wait for the new game. Although, like I said, right when that new game comes out, that's when I start going into the teeth of my busy season. Mid to end to September into October is like right when everything just ramps up, and I'm going to be so busy. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to play any of this stuff. You know what I mean? So. But I'm going to try. I'll try to play as much as I can and get another project going. I keep looking over here to my side. This is where all my manila envelopes are, and that's where I keep all my my printed stuff over here on the left. And I'm like, what can I pull out over here and play? That would be fun. I did hear Roberto Schiavini has a new hockey game, so I emailed him and asked him what was that all about. So I might have another Roberto Schiavini game to show off. Those are usually quick play games, but they're really fun. They really, really are. Either that or maybe I pull out some, I don't know, let's pull out some shootout hockey or Stone Cold hockey. Stone Cold's got the new WHA season coming out. Although I should be getting the new Strat hockey pretty soon. The Strat PC hockey should be coming out. And I do have the cards coming in as well as the baseball season, which they haven't sent. I think they're going to probably send them all together. At least I hope they are. I hope they're going to send everything together because I didn't get the baseball season I ordered just yet. Let's see. Fenner says his replay of the 2021 Bengals was awesome. Oh, good. They made it to the Super Bowl against the Rams just like in real life, and one holding on till the last play. Oh, that must have been a fun time. Underrated offensive coordinator making calls. Good chat as well. Yeah. We had a fun time. I let the chat room pick a couple of plays a couple of times. Like, what do I do? You know, it's things you got to wait 20 or 30 seconds to get the responses because of the delay. But a couple times I was like, okay, what do you want me to do here, folks? Should we go for it? Should we punt? Should we, what are we going to do? And we had a lot of fun. In that championship game, we had a blocked punt and a blocked field goal. So, yeah, we had a couple of crazy things happen, and it was fun to see. We had a little bit of everything that season. Although I don't know if I had a safety in any of my games. I know there was a couple of safeties in the other games, but I don't think I had one in the games that I played. I try to play, when I'm on the goal line, I try to play pretty safe. I do. I try to play pretty safe. Like quick hits up the middle, give me some breathing room, and then maybe I'll drop back and throw it or something like that, I was thinking the same thing, Fenner. I need to get back into some pocket pennant run. Yes, I was actually talking to Ron about that today. He's just like, why don't you play that more? I says, it's just I have so many games to play. I says, it's not that I don't like it. It's not that I like it less than anything else. It's just I have so many other games to play that Pocket Pennant, like many other games, I should play more because Pocket Pennant is such a blast to play. I have so much fun with that. The only thing, it's hard to stream that, though, because I try to do the as played when I play with that. So the cards are not as played. The cards have the better guys on there, but if you want everybody, you got to print out the spreadsheet. So if you just got a piece of paper, it's kind of hard to show that off. It really is hard to show off the cards and dice version of that game if you're using as played and then you use the whole spreadsheet. Although, in my, I think it was the 79? One of the seasons that I have in Digital Diamond, I put every single player with their ratings for Pocket Pennant Run. So I actually don't even need anything. All the ratings are right on the guy there. So I shouldn't even need to show cards and dice because all the ratings are on the guy, the batter and the pitcher. So I think I did that with everybody. I think it was 79. So I should be able to pick up and play that and not have to worry about showing off the cards because all the ratings are there. Because that's all it is. It's 4 different ratings for everybody. So the pitcher has 4 ratings and the batter and the runners and the whole bit. So, yeah, I shouldn't really have to show that off now that I think about it. Steeler fan coming by. Unfortunately, his Steelers did not win the big game. They lost to the Raiders. Had a chance to pull it out at the end. They missed a long field goal and in the snow. And so the Steelers would have to watch the Super Bowl. I said the S word. I try not to say that so I don't get in trouble. I don't think I would anyway, but so I guess as long as I don't put it in the title of the description, I think we're okay. But that was a fun one there. I actually went back this afternoon while I was having lunch or something, and I watched the highlights from that 1978 championship game between Dallas and Pittsburgh, and I vaguely remember watching that as a kid. I don't know where I really was at that time in my life. I think that was right before the blizzard of 78 up here. So I probably didn't stay up to watch. I wasn't a huge football guy at that point. I was really baseball, hockey. And I don't know if I really didn't watch many. So I think I watched the 79 one. I remember watching that with my dad. I don't remember the 78 one, though. I mean, who played that? So 78 was Pittsburgh, Dallas. That was the 78 into 79. 79. Huh. 70. Now, that would be the Buccaneer season, right? 79 into 80. That's when Tampa Bay got to the NFC Championship game. So the next year I did watch. That's the one I watched with Pittsburgh and the Rams. I remember watching that somewhere with my dad. I remember watching that on a tiny TV, though. Now that I think of it, it must have been a Sunday, and I think I was with my dad at the time, visiting him, and I remember going to somebody's house. I didn't know where it was, and we didn't sit around the big TV in the living room. I think we were on the porch, and they had the TV on the porch and said, "Yeah, if you guys want to watch the football game, you can be here on the porch." I'm just like, boy, that was. Now that I think about it, that was the final game of the year. That was the championship game. And I think we were at a place, and must have been a birthday party or a party or something, and there was like just 3 or 4 of us on the porch watching, over the rabbit ears, watching this game, and that wasn't the main. We weren't there to watch the bowl. We were there for whoever house it was, for whatever the gathering was. Now that I think about it, I mean, that's a long time ago, but I remember watching that game, but the Rams kept it closer than I thought, but I knew Pittsburgh would win. I remember Brent Musburger saying, "I think the Rams are going to win." Of course you're going to say that, so we'll tune in. But I think we all knew Pittsburgh was going to crush them. They kind of did. It was somewhat close, but Pittsburgh did kind of walk away with it at the end. So say what you will. There's a little Super Bowl memory. As, let's see, Random Human stops by. 79 season was Rams, Pittsburgh in 1980. Okay, yeah, I'm getting my things all messed up here. Dwayne stops by. Bernard as well. He's on vacation in San Jose. First day in 6 months. He hasn't played a game. Interesting. And speaking about memories, holy cow, someone we haven't seen in a long time. Here he is.
Hello, Uncle Dave.
How you been? We haven't chatted in forever.
Good. How are you?
We're doing okay. I'm in my summer gaming slump. It's just been hot out here.
You've been playing a lot of Pro Strategy. I catch some of those when I can. Fun game. I think everyone's going to enjoy the next one because there are some things you can increase the fatigue factor if you want. There's going to be like a sliding scale for certain things. I think you can actually import the draft pool like real players, I think. So that's something to look forward to. That comes out September 14th or 11th.
The 12th to the 14th, yeah. I heard. So it could be 10 or 12 days away. We're getting close. I was kicking around what I want to do. I enjoyed it so much because it's so easy to set up and play, and visually it's the perfect screaming football game.
The thing that makes you just hit on the head. Visually, it's really fun. There's a lot of strategy. You can play with as much strategy. Listen, there's no perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
Play the games you like. But visually, it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want the because someone might bring up, oh, it's not Madden visually. Yes, it's not. I don't want Madden.
Right.
I like this.
I do too.
I like this because to me, it's just
It gives you a casual vibe to it.
yes.
With Madden, it's all about how many pixels and does it really look like Tom Brady, and you're all worried about that. This game, everybody looks kind of the same. We're all just goofy little Nintendo guys running around, but it's not stick figures and it's not X's and O's. You can see the logos on the helmets. They did a great job with that. But I think having it be this kind of visual, it allows you just to enjoy it. And it's not so stuffy.
Larry says he can't. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you all right. You're a little low.
Hold on, let me see if my mic. All right. Well, I also don't want to. There's people sleeping.
Yeah.
So
Maybe just bring up your level a little bit. Maybe I could.
just closer to me. How about now?
Probably a little bit. Yeah, I can maybe bring you up a little bit on the screen. Let me
Okay.
see what I can do.
The what was I saying? But no, it's a very fun game. I'm looking forward to 24. And again, all the seasons are free, so you can't go wrong there. I've been playing a lot of action PC football lately and basketball, enjoying that offline. And Danhausen, that's right. I'm a fanhausen of Danhausen. Unfortunately, he's hurt.
Oh.
But Pro Strategy Football, really fun game. To me, what I like about Pro Strategy Football, when it touches the buttons or whatever, pushes the buttons, I love, like you just said it, I love the uniforms. I love watching, and each year it gets better. I'm hoping, before I left the group, I'm not a beta tester anymore, they were working on one of my suggestions, and Mike in the truck had the same suggestions, a fantasy draft where you could import teams or a league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a salary cap, but there's a point cap. So it acts like a salary cap. You'd have X amount to spend points. So you couldn't just draft all the best. I mean, you could if you wanted. I'm sure there's an override, but I hope they can put that in the game. And but it's a fun game. Look forward to getting the new version of it. I played some hockey today, Dave.
Yeah, what'd you play?
My favorite hockey game, because it's easy for me, I'm not a hockey guy, is Action PC Hockey. I did some
absolutely.
AHL 66, 67 season.
Oh, nice.
My beloved Springfield Indians of the day. And, we can score a bit. The last hockey game I streamed, same exact thing happened. I didn't stream it. I just played it and put it on. We're up 2-0, down 3-2. We score early in the third period, 3-3. Under 3 minutes to play, they poke one past our goal. My best goalie's out still. I don't know when he's coming back. They poke it past Jacques Caron. And, well, I go empty net, right? They get 2 empty net goals. I'm like, I'm putting a goalie. I don't want to. It doesn't matter, but I just don't want the score to get that horribly blown out. But that's fun. I have the new Action PC basketball game. Not graphics, but the flow of the chalkboard. It improves every version. They have, and I don't know if this report was there before. I like this. I wish they might have it in all games. Again, I've told you this, Dave, offline, that with Action PC games, they improve the stat package.
It's
already good.
Yeah. It's a little bit at a time.
I'd like to see them do a little more something, because I'm a visual guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something with the chalkboard a little different.
Yeah.
That's just I love Dave Cook games are fabulous. Reasonably priced. Mm-hmm. They're so reasonably priced that when he has sales, I'm like, I'm like, I have this stuff already.
Yeah, I have everything too. Yeah.
Anyway, I kind of did a little Digital Dice homage of what I'm playing. So
nice. Yeah. Well, that 66, 67 AHL season is probably the last good one for a while, because when the league expanded the next year to 12 teams, what do you think they filled it with? With a lot of those guys from the AHL.
Yeah.
So when you had six teams in the NHL, you just had 6.
That's right. Listen,
That
Uncle
means
Dave,
it was
people.
very limited. So you had all these minor league guys that probably could be playing in the NHL.
My dad would tell me a story because he was a big AHL fan. Went to a lot of Springfield Indians games. God rest his soul. Right. When you signed a contract with Eddie Shore, because Eddie Shore owned the Indians and he was a great hockey player on top of it, he wasn't letting you out of his contract unless that NHL team paid him buku cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he had NHL.
Well, the story about Phil Esposito when he was playing for the Blackhawks, and he went into the owner or the man, whoever was doing the contracts, and he wanted to ask for more money while he was playing for the Blackhawks.
Okay.
And so Phil went in the room to talk to him, and the guy picks up the phone, and he was pretending to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And he goes, he wants how much to play? Well, tell him we got plenty of room in the minors for guys like him. And he hangs up the phone and looked at Phil and goes, what's up, Phil? And Phil went, nothing. Because he didn't want to get sent down to the minors over money because you never come back up. There wasn't enough space. Yeah. But when they expanded the league and they added 6 teams, that's when all these guys are finally able to play.
People in this chat here probably understand it, but when you only have 6 professional teams in the NHL, they're the best of the best. Maybe some other guys could be better, but I mean, it's the best of the best. The quality is incredible. Those players who were playing in the AHL were also tremendous.
Well,
they were
they
NHL quality players.
Yep.
So
yeah, absolutely. You know what I like to do sometimes was I try to do, I don't know if it was Action PC or Franchise Hockey Manager. I tried to go to a modern season and then disband all the teams, cut it down to 6, and takes those 6 teams and fill them in with modern players. Imagine today's NHL with 6 teams.
So you'd go with the original 6.
But what I'm saying is
that 6 teams that you wanted.
Picture taking the the talent that would fit 6 teams. Imagine the lineups that you would have.
It's unbelievable.
You know, because everyone's got a superstar, maybe 2, 3 if you're lucky.
Yep.
You took all the superstars in the league, so you got 32 teams. If you took the top 5 or 6 guys, that's 150 skaters, and then put them all on 6 teams. It'd be like, you remember when we used to watch the Canada Cup or the Challenge Cup, and used to have, holy cow, look at this lineup.
Yeah.
You got Messier, with Gretzky and Yzerman and Bork and
It would be the Olympics times 100 when they were using professional players for that brief period.
Oh yeah. Those were so fun to watch. It's like, why can't we have the NHL like that, where you get all these good guys, and now you get guys that shouldn't be playing in the NHL?
And I agree. I think, just my opinion. Also, I'd like to say I love your Rochester American. I love all your flags.
I did that for when we had Ed Klingenberger on a couple weeks ago as a guest, and he's got a YouTube channel, Board Ball, and he's from the Rochester area, so I threw that up for him.
That's nice. I love it. I think all the sports are way overexpanded. But they'll never cut down on that.
Mike said it would be an all-star league. It absolutely be. It would be an all-star league.
Mike.
However, but they won't cut back because it's a money thing, and the union's not going to let them cut back on
I
players.
see that side of it too. I'm just saying baseball is the prime example. Way too many teams.
It's just watered down. A lot of the sports are watered down, and just.
I watched a hell of a college football game today. Deion Sanders coaches Colorado.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah.
Texas Christian TCU.
Yeah.
I only watched I feel like watching a college football game. I have the college football bug in me right now, and it's played differently, right? I mean, it's more wide open. I watched the 4th quarter. It was so much fun. It was pinball, big play after big play, and but it was fun. I mean, I don't think I want to watch that all, but it was beautiful football. The one thing I can say in college football, very little defense with a lot of these teams, but it was fun. It was enjoyable.
I turned it on today because I think this is opening weekend, I think. So I was sitting around this afternoon, and I put on the TV, and there was probably, no joke, at least 10 or 12 games on.
And I think they started last Thursday or this Thursday.
Oh, they might have, yeah. But there was today, between all the different channels, between like the Fox Sports channel and ESPN and CBS channel.
how does one televise Oklahoma versus Arkansas State when it's in the third quarter and it's 68-0?
Well, what I was going to
Why
say
is
is
that
I
game
turned it on today, and
Yeah.
Notre Dame was playing, I don't know, Western Kentucky U or whatever it was, and it's like I say, 36-3. And then I go to the next game, and it's like East Arkansas versus West South Virginia, teams I never really heard of, and
Yeah,
it's
those-
like 42-0. It's like every game was I think I finally found on one channel way up on the dial, it was two teams I had never heard of, and it was like within 7 points. It's like, well, I never heard of these guys, but if it's a close game, I'm going to watch it.
Mo Dean says, if you can click on it, Oregon put up 81 today.
Oh, jeepers. I mean, yeah, why bother playing the game?
Now, it's funny you said that, Dave, because I wanted to watch a little college football. Hi, Thomas. So I did the same thing. We're in the kitchen. We're getting a little dinner ready. And I'm clicking around, right? And that's when I saw the close game was Colorado and TCU, Texas Christian University.
Yeah, I think that's what I was watching. Yeah.
It was a really
Yeah,
I
it was
watched
good.
that 15 minutes of football was so much fun, and I enjoyed it. And I was happy. So
I love it on when you get later in the season games, and it's on like ESPN2 or ESPN. It's on one of the sub channels,
Yeah,
not the main
one of-
channels. And they always have this team on, and I forget where they are. And it's a college game, but they have just like single stands. Okay, it's not a big bowl or anything. It's just like
Yeah.
a single stands, and behind one of the stands is like these mountains. And it's a tiny stadium, but
That's
the
gotta be
view
out-
when they pit, it's a beautiful view, but it probably holds like 10,000 people. It's tiny.
the one that I used to when I first saw it a long time ago was Boise State with their wild colored
Oh,
field.
it
was
hurts
just-
my eyes. I can't
Whoa,
watch it.
what is that?
Yeah,
But what was I going to say?
so many blowouts today.
Yeah, and that's too bad. The one thing
Yeah, Ray has a good Michigan versus University of
Phoenix
Phoenix online.
That's funny. Who
That's
said
a
that?
good
That
one.
was a good one. Arnold. Around the layout podcast. That's funny. The thing I like about college football, and I like pro football too, obviously, but there's certain pageantry that you with college, with the bands and with this and
Yeah.
It scratches that itch sometimes. And,
Yeah,
and that's,
it's a different enough.
yeah, I've been in a college football when I've been playing a lot of college football offline, and things pop into my head. I'm like, "Ooh, imagine if these two teams played. I'm going to play it. Imagine if this happened." I've been playing mostly Action PC because of all the college teams I have, and Second and 10.
Now, the college teams on Action PC, are they homebrews or do they sell college?
They sell college, but there are some home brews. What you'll find out with the home brews, they did 1978. I downloaded it a while ago. What they'll do is they'll give you every team in 78 that was not provided by Dave Cook. If it's provided by Dave Cook, they'll throw in a team that's not. So instead of getting the 78 Penn State, they give you 80 Penn State. Now, I have 78 Penn State, so I could put them in there theoretically. I just like to play certain Mike in the truck. How you doing, buddy? So, hi, Dan. But yeah, I enjoy college football. A couple of other things. If go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, I was just going to say that I played a game on the Xbox 360 many years ago, probably 10 or 15 years ago, and it was NCAA 12. I know
Yes.
14 was the
EA.
last one before they couldn't do the college anymore.
Right. EA.
But I remember playing NCAA 12 EA Sports on with the controller back when I was doing
Yep,
the video
I used to
games.
like that game.
And what was fun about it is you could create yourself.
Yes, you could. Yeah.
And then you're like, what do you want to be? So I said, I'm going to be a running back because running backs can run, they can catch, and they can block.
And they can.
And I
pass.
thought I would get the biggest experience out of that instead of just being a quarterback
Right.
or what. So I chose a running back, and I played for my high school team, and I did all my things. And then you get drafted by a college team,
You get
right?
recruited. Yes. Yeah.
And I'll never forget that I was chosen by some big teams, but I was going to be like third on the depth chart, right? Or I could go to one of these teams and be the leading back.
You go to where you can play ball, my friend.
So I went to North Carolina. I was a Tar Heel.
Nice.
And it was so fun because when you played this game, you played your position,
Yeah.
and it would call the play, And there was sometimes that I got the carry and I would try to run, and there was sometimes I needed to go out for a pass, and there was sometimes I needed to block. And
That's fun because when I did something similar. I don't remember what version. Mo Dean says it's coming back next year, the NCAA on EA. That was fun. That had a different element.
I did hear that.
Did you? I took Army, right? And you couldn't move against the good teams, right? Against a mediocre, a team your level, I could win. So I'm sitting there going, after I get beat by, I forgot who beat me pretty soundly. I hung around for a bit, and then the quality of their players out there. Yeah. I said, well, I don't know if you can still do this. I would just rotate. I said, I'm going to beat these teams. I'm going to start annihilating teams because the ranking system, just like in the polls, right? I rotated every 5 of my running backs at quarterback, and I would just run the ball out of the shotgun.
Yeah,
and it was just so much fun.
What I liked about the college game compared to the pro game is that they had so many teams, and so many stadiums. And I used to like to go to see these college stadiums and play in these college stadiums.
And they had the music. They had the music. So
it was a different atmosphere.
It was fun. I've always liked. I like pro football too. Actually the sports I still really watch. I'll watch my pro football. Not like I used to. I don't watch every game. I don't watch Monday Night Football anymore because to me it's not special anymore.
Yeah.
Unless it's the Patriots or a really game I want to watch. Thursday Night Football I stopped watching a while ago because the games suck.
Oh, it's the 2 worst teams in the league.
Yeah, but I like pro football. I enjoyed my boxing. Those are the sports I sit and I watch. What's up, Uncle Dave Little? Couple of things. Now I'll be doing a chat with Al soon, hopefully when I have time. But I picked up some cards. Can I share them?
Sure.
And again, nothing expensive, but I like them. They make me happy to look at. I got a Ted Williams card.
Wait, let me make you bigger here. Let me see if I can get you soloed out here.
We'll do a chat with Al.
No, I'm getting there.
It's fine. That's good.
Yeah, we're getting there.
What?
There we go.
So this is a pretty cool Ted Williams card. I'm going to get another one where he's in his fighter pilot regalia.
Oh, nice.
It looks cool. It's like a couple of bucks. I don't know why I haven't bought it yet. But again, this is it's a Topps card from the 2000s. It's a replica, a reprint, but I love this card. I picked up, this is remember Donruss? I don't know if you remember those cards.
Yeah, I think I remember them.
This is the little professor, Dominic DiMaggio. Again, these are reprints, but they're from the real card companies, so I was happy about that. This was really cool. It was Rocky Marciano's, would have been his 100th birthday Friday. That's a Topps boxing card.
I didn't know they had boxing cards.
I did not. They did some sort of special set with decades players, great athletes from decades. So that's really cool. I've completed my 1970s. I have all the 1976 Patriot cards. Topps.
Oh, nice. Is that the one with the big football in the left corner? It's got the player, but in the... What year is that?
I think that's 75. So these are 77 Topps cards.
Okay.
76. I know what you're talking about. I think those were...
The big yellow football in the corner that said the name of the team.
I have an old one somewhere. But I completed that. Anyway, I got some of that. I picked up this game.
Decathlon.
This is an Avalon Hill game.
Interesting.
I've been playing these old games I've been buying on eBay, and I don't go nuts if they're not I'm not going to spend a ton of money. I tell you, I read reviews and people are like, well, it's kind of like boring. And I'm like, well, you have to like track and field to like this game. And it's really fun. And what made me pull the trigger, and again, when I do a chat with Al, I'll go more into it. I don't want to make this a chat with Al. But they have 8 different decathletes, or 7, excuse me. You can play as yourself. They give you a blank card.
Oh, nice.
You're actually pretty good. But they have Jim Thorpe.
Oh, no kidding.
And it's pretty cool. And they have ratings. The fun one, and I think what I'm going to do, because certain events, there is some decision making. Shot put, long jump, stuff like
Discus and
that.
all this.
I could possibly put this on the channel, get a few people to, and we'll give you the generic card. It's all the same, and you can tell me you want to go safe, average. It's something I've been thinking, but very fun game. Upside down.
Interesting.
And they have the Avalon. These games, these Sports Illustrated or Avalon Hill games. Bill Toomey is on there. Someone said, and he says he's the worst, but it's pretty fun. The unique thing with these games, Uncle Dave, I've been playing Pay Dirt. I have the college bowl bound, but I picked up Pay Dirt 1979 season. Patriots beat the Cowboys. Yes.
Ha.
And again, you can get that on. It's very similar to data-driven football. It's actually the same thing. They've updated it more. I've got that. That's a fun little game. That's a fun game to play too. The only possible downside for someone with the football games, you don't have individual players, but it rates the sort of play call accurately. Jim Thorpe, they early 80s, yes. I like anyway, and they have those unique dice, Dave. They're 3 dice, and it's not. They're 6-sided, but they're not 6-sided. It goes like 1, 2, 3 for all the numbers. The next one's 1, 2, up to 5 or something. But it's strange the way you have to play these games. You have to have. If you ever order any type of these games, Arnold, how you doing, buddy? Arnold wanted to chat with Al. I was going to do it. I said, but if you're doing one, I'll do it with you. Fun games, anyway. I've been playing that. Been playing Pay Dirt. Also, I'm in my Planet of the Apes mode, Uncle Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
do you know what mode I've been in? Hold the Planet of the Apes. Do you know what mode I've been in?
What?
Someone told me about Pluto TV.
Pluto TV is excellent.
It is unbelievable. It's like every
free.
channel. Yeah, it's free. You just got to watch the commercial like you would on regular TV. It's like regular TV.
Yeah.
So there's a Godzilla channel. So I've been watching a ton of Godzilla and Mothra and all that stuff.
Oh, Mothra.
And
I hate Mothra.
Oh, I see. But anyway, they also had a Stargate channel.
Ooh.
I love the Stargate SG-1 series. So I've been like going back between Godzilla and Stargate, and I said, you know something? Damn it.
Doesn't it bring you back to your youth, though?
I says, I'm going back, and I'm going to start. So I went back to episode 1, and I think there's got to be at least 10 seasons, maybe 15 seasons of Stargate. And I went back to 1997, I think the first episode was, and I've been watching. I'm almost through season 2, and there's 20 episodes in each season, or 21 episodes in each season. It's not like a 10-episode thing. And so I've been going back from the beginning and watching all of Stargate on Amazon Prime because it's included for free. So I've been in a Stargate mode, and I'm just sitting there, and the wife comes in and says, "You still watching?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm watching the whole series all over again." And
it's again. It's
I wish
fun.
they did a longer Planet of the Apes series because I know they had the movies, like 6 movies, and then they had the TV show and the cartoon.
Two incarnate cartoon was horrible. I watched it though. 5 original movies. I'm gonna get into some funny, if I can, some I think funny stories about Planet of the Apes. I like to talk about that. Then they had the new one. They had the Burton movie, which was okay. A different take on it, but it was fun. And now the new ones have been, I like them. They've been very, very well done.
They're very violent. They really are.
Now we're going to get to the funny part of very violent. Quick, and again, we'll do some of this with chat. I'll give you because chat with Al, I'm going to do some of this stuff too. But the big thing for Planet of the Apes, it was 20th Century Fox. So the first Babylon 5, that's a Star Trek takeoff, right? Babylon 5 or...
Was that Battlestar Galactica? There was a takeoff on. What was Babylon?
No, Battlestar Galactica. I guess that was a comic book or a book something. I always thought that was a takeoff on Star Wars, but I guess that was a separate. I think
it was very different than Star Wars. Yeah.
And then that came back. I watched the original when I was a kid. I watched a little bit of the new one.
The new one was great. I think there was 3 seasons. Pretty good. And was it 2006, 2007, I think it was. I thought it was fantastic. I really did.
Pretty good. So, Planet of the Apes, that movie saves the studio, makes them a lot of money. They make the sequels. They always wanted, now, if you look now, they're not, the first 4 Planet of the Apes movies were G-rated. You look now, they're not G-rated because G rating just meant guidance back then.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, if I was young and I went with Dave and Dave was older than me, he would say, Al, this is make-believe. You know,
Yeah.
guidance. That's all that was. Because people forget the original X rating. There is an X-rated movie that won Best Picture. It's not a dirty movie. It's
Yeah.
Midnight Cowboy. It was just more adult. So they wanted to give something more than R to say you really kids might not like
Yeah.
an adult should watch this. Not meaning bad stuff. Just anyway. So they get to the 4th movie, Conquest.
A new Planet of the Apes in May of 2024, maybe.
Yep. That's
Interesting.
what they're saying. Yeah. They get to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This is when the revolt, right? This is how they start to take over the earth. So the original version, I'm going to do it real quick. The original version of it, they what's that called, Uncle Dave? When you show the movie to it's a long story, but I'm going to cut it back. Thank you. The test audience, right? So they show it to a test audience in Arizona. Parents take their kids out of the movie. It's so violent. They go before the board, like the movie, 20th century, the people are going, and they're sitting there going, it's R-rated. And they're like, yeah, it's R-rated. We can't have an R-rated movie. The kids won't come, the parents ain't going to bring their kids. That's how we make our money. So they tell them, you got to get this down to G-rated. And they go, we can't get this down to G-rated. It's more violent than any of our movies. Screening, thank you. So they get it to PG. So Conquest, Planet of the Apes, one of my favorite ones, right? I did not know this till 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. There's a director's cut. I bought it.
Oh, no way.
It is. Dude. So the movie goes on. It's violent anyway, right? But there are scenes I'm like, I don't remember that in the original.
Oh, jeepers, really?
I could see... And most of it comes.
Is it the original? The original?
No, the Conquest.
Conquest.
But what I'm saying is this. How do they call it? What's the terminology they use? The unrated version. You get both versions. The unrated
Conquest. Now, is that the one that they were together in the camps learning, and they went into the city, and then the people come in on the buses and fought them? Was that the one?
That was Battle. That's the last one of the original 5. Conquest was before that. That is. The simians, apes, gorillas, orangutans, have no longer become pets. They're now slaves, basically, and it's a revolt.
Oh, I see.
There's a scene where the governor takes a gun at the end. He goes, "Give me your gun." Point blank, shoots the gorilla in the head, and blood goes. It's like,
oh, really?
Yeah. It was good. I watched.
Now that's the one they changed the ending.
Yes,
right, because all the apes were jumping around in the fire, and Roddy McDowell was there.
Yep.
And if you watch the TV one, they zoom in on his eyes, so you can't see his mouth. They changed the dialogue to him to say, "Now we must put down our weapons."
Yeah, well, in the original they don't. He says, "Kill him," and they go.
I need to get it now.
So, but it's funny that you said that because after. I told Teresa, I go, it was so weird watching Roddy McDowell give that speech because, again, when they redid it to get
just his eyes,
because when he came in, they didn't have the money to reshoot it. What they did was he basically did how you do a reading, right?
Yeah.
He came in, did the reading, and what they did was we have enough of these scenes where we're going to only shoot them like this. Fun movie though, fun movie. Anyway.
I didn't know they had a director's cut. I didn't know it was that violent. I really didn't.
It's 70s violence. So when you see the blood, it's like ketchup looking. Yeah. So then I also bought the book, which is they're like 200 pages. They're fun.
I read the book in I want to say 5th or 6th grade. And I did
the original you're talking about.
I did a book report, the Pierre Boulle book.
Excellent. This is the movie adaptation of Conquest.
Oh, I see.
But what they did was, again, interesting things I didn't know. Because I was looking it up at lunch when I was at work. Just looking up. I was in a Planet of the Apes mode. This is pretty much what the original script was supposed to be before they toned it down. So they had some interesting stuff in there.
Now, in the Pierre Boulle original book,
yes,
it starts off with a spaceship,
Yes, it does.
and they're reading a story.
And you don't know who it is.
Yeah, and then at the end
And
of
then
the
at the
book,
end, you
it tells
find
you
out.
it's apes that are reading the
They
thing, and
found.
so
Remember how they
and
found it? It was in a bottle. Remember, the note was in the bottle. The story was like and it was or something, and they grabbed it with the arm, the space arm, and they pulled it in. They started to read
okay,
it.
and they're like, yeah, that would never happen.
Yeah, that was because it was years had gone by. But anyway, that's some
Good,
stuff.
good.
I
No, that's great stuff here.
No.
Well, let me go back to the chat room here. While we were chatting, we missed a lot of stuff in here. And where were we? Oh, so David C says the AHL was amazing in the 60s. Yeah. In fact, you see a lot of AHL 1960-61 season out there. So that was supposed to be one of the best seasons.
Yeah, and the one I'm playing, the 66-67, is a down year for the Springfield Indians, but it's cool to play. The other thing is, I've been putting the photos in the game as I go with each team. With the ones, I'm telling you right now, let me just give it at least, I think this is low, 80% of those guys at later on played in the NHL.
Oh, I would think so. When they expanded, that's what they drew from. Yeah.
So.
Excuse me. Philip Reynolds was playing Forbidden Island today. That's a game I've heard of, and I was watching him play it today.
It's a card. It's a card game, I think.
Good game. Takes about an hour. I was watching him play. Yeah, it's.
Is that a deck building game, Dave?
I don't know if it's deck building, but you do delay at the cards, and I look at other non-sports games myself, and Forbidden Island is one that I did hear about. So
cool.
And so I guess Mo was asking, did he make it to the chopper, or did the island sink? Because I think there's the island does start sinking during the game, so it's a timed game. It's Forbidden Island. I think you're supposed to go around and collect a bunch of things on the island.
Hey, you're talking about Pluto TV. I think Mike Craven says, "LOL." I've been watching. I love Rockford Files. I think you must be talking. Maybe the Rockford Files are on there too.
There's a Price is Right channel that just has Bob Barker shows.
He just passed away.
Yeah, he did. He was, he almost made it to 100 without going over.
Yeah.
That was the joke, But we all respect Bob, though. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know what? He would have loved that joke.
Oh, he would have. Yeah.
I think he would.
Yep. Let's see what else we have in the chat room here. Oh, Fenner asked this a while ago here. I was going to get another baseball game, which is going to be after, but History Maker Golf may be the next game I get. Well, obviously
one game. I got to get back to that tournament.
They're very different games. History Maker Golf is super fun. And it's fairly simple.
Well,
as long as you realize that if there's a symbol at the end of a sentence, go look for the symbol in the book, and don't do a 2.5 hour rant on why the game stinks.
Here's the thing with me about
hashtag ID.
Love ID.
I do too. I do too. And that was a class. If he had just looked at the symbol and flipped the page, he would have saw the symbol and then continued on with the whole. But
here's the thing.
But I agree. If you're not used to it, then you're not used to it.
You don't. It's different. The play.com games, the play games, sorry.
They're so different.
They're different. So you have to take your I shouldn't say.
You almost got to unlearn some things and then go back into play.
I had to
it's
take
okay.
my time with it. Okay.
Yeah.
But my favorite game, and I like the baseball game a lot. I love the golf. For some reason, it clicks with me. Do I play it exactly right? Probably not. But I play it for enjoyment.
It is fun, yeah. I get mixed up on the chips sometimes, like when you can get a chip, when you lose a chip, when can you play a chip. I get a little confused once in a while with that.
Yeah, but that's going to happen. The thing I like, and I'm just going to give you my opinion. If you get History Maker Golf, they have a wonderful tournament mode. But if you find that daunting, right, just take one player.
Yeah, just take a couple golfers.
Your favorite player in the set you get.
Yep.
And play 9 holes, 18 holes, couple of times, and you'll sit there and go, I think you'll fall in love with the game.
It's almost two different games, because if you just play the holes, playing the holes is a different game. You roll the dice. How'd you do off the tee? Do you control it, or does the course control it? And that indicates where you flip in the book to find out what's going on. And then you don't play it shot by shot. You roll for the tee shot, and then you usually roll for the putt too. Usually,
yes. And that's enough for me. I almost picked up
the tournament mode though is very different. So I wouldn't start with the tournament mode. I would play some holes, and that's the fun of the game. The tournament mode is stack all these cards up, throw these ones away, These advance to the next day. Now pick the top 2 guys. Now pick some random guys. Here's the next day. And it's kind of weird. It's not really, you're whittling down the pile is what you're doing. And then eventually when you're done, you'll have your guys on the bubble, and then you'll have the guys that are going to play on TV on Sunday. And then you start the actual golf hole. So
and again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, me personally, if you're buying the game, because some people said
it is daunting at first when it's like, when am I gonna swing a club? No, in the tournament mode, the first hour or so is setting up Sunday.
Yeah, so play the game the way you want. I've had a couple of people leave messages for me who had watched when I was playing it regularly, and I've got to finish my tournament, and I will. Life gets in the way. You got to do stuff. They said, wow, I had History Maker Golf, wasn't playing it. I saw the way you played it, the enjoyment you had. And they said, I'm back playing it. I did a knockout tournament, and I'm not done with it yet. But just you can play any game within the rules a certain way to make you happy, I believe.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, so let me see. Back in the chat room here.
Steve Towers here, I think.
All right, I'm missing a few here. Oh, Random Human was talking about Madden is looking great at this point, but the gameplay stopped being solid a long time ago. The game was a joke as a sim. Well, I think they've catered to a different class. They're not looking for it to be a sim. They're looking at it to be a very fun arcade game that people can play against each other. Because let's just face it, if they were playing a sim, it would not be fun. It has to be a game, and so you're catering to younger, kids in this one here, to middle age, and so it's got to be fun for them, and so that's what they're catering to. And it's funny how every year Madden and EA have voted the worst game and the worst company, but every year they break record sales. And we were talking about that on the show the other day, how it's like people complain about even games in our community, and it's like, well, look at Madden. Every year EA stakes, Madden stakes, and and everyone buys it again, and then they complain about it. But it still is
I'll
good.
put it this way. I'll use a music metaphor or music analogy. When Metallica cut their hair, people said, oh, they sold out. And they were talking to, Lars, the drummer? Lars. He goes, yeah, we sold out. We sell out. We sell out stadiums. That's what we do.
Yeah, I know, right? Random Human also says, defense is so useless in college football. Why even punt anymore? Yeah, I get it.
That's the one thing, I don't get how. I don't understand how no one can play defense anymore. I get it. It's wide open. They're playing wide open. And there's, defense. I'm not talking about like what Uncle Dave and I were talking about earlier, where you click by these games and people are getting annihilated because they shouldn't even be on the same field.
Yeah.
I've seen some good defensive games too, but it's, you know what? I was happy to watch a little college football today, and that
I was too. Yeah,
TCU Colorado game was fun. So
it's all blowouts. Every game I saw was a blowout, but they still were fun to watch a little bit.
Dave, behind you, the figure, the hockey, is that one of the Hanson brothers between the Maple Leafs and Flyers?
That's Bobby Orr. That's my old Bobby Orr that used to be behind me. Yeah, it's a full-size figure.
That's like one of those baseball guys I got up there.
Yeah, it's about yay big, and I just have him sitting back there.
That's cool.
So you can see him. Yep.
Oh, did I ever show you? I have a Bobby Orr card. I never had a Bobby Orr card. Where is Bobby?
I had a bunch. I sold a bunch one time when I was younger because I had that one. I still might. I sold a bunch of Orr cards.
This is his best season. This is the actual year, his best season. Again, not mint, but I'll tell you another thing. One last more thing with cards, because I
was young and I needed the money. I was younger. In my 20s, I had no money, and so I sold a bunch of Bobby Orr just so I could pay the bills.
I haven't shown this. See, this is a premiere for you and everybody. I haven't shown these yet. 1978 Jim Rice. I never had this card.
Oh, really?
Never had it.
Did you ever have the Twinkie cards on the back of the Twinkie box?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, those are great. I think I have some somewhere, I think.
This is the home run leader.
Yeah.
And then this is the RBI leader, all 1970.
Nice.
So 79 cards, 78 season.
Yeah. Space 1999 they were talking about. I tried to go back and watch that on Hulu, and I had a hard time with it.
Remember the weird phasers they had? You had to hold them like this. the hell kind
Yeah.
of gun you hold like this?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, and now Steve Tower is here, long time listener, first time call. What do you think of the Patriots QB depth chart? I'll hang up and listen. There's
That
not much,
was-
not much
Steve,
to say.
Let me tell you something there.
Do they have any quarterbacks left? They just got rid of a bunch of them, right?
Here's what happened.
And the kicker, they got rid of the kicker
They
too.
traded Folk. Pissed about that. I am. So this is a money thing, as always with Belichick. They keep Mac Jones. They cut Zappy and oh god, I can't see him. The other young kid.
Don't even know who it was. Tell you the truth.
I know who it is. I saw he's good. I mean, they're good. Zappy was good. Okay, he played in a couple of games last year. Was fine. Now they're lucky no one signed them. Now maybe they had handshake agreements. They brought them both back on the practice squad, but so they can pull them off the practice squad. But seriously, come on, Bill.
That's how they do the games, though.
I
It's
just
like they
can't
cut you,
stand
they
that.
bring you back. It makes no sense. It
I
really
think
doesn't.
they want to sign another veteran quarterback. You have these two kids who can play. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And MVP was talking about Tubi TV. I think I've seen that a little bit. But it's whatever I have on my smart TV. I do like the Pluto TV because I can just say Pluto TV into the microphone on
Yeah.
the remote and it comes right up and I can watch my whatever. And let me see. David C. says Roberto Schiavini does have all the AHL 1960s available.
Those are quicker play games.
It's a quick play game, but it's fun to have those seasons and Calder Cup playoffs. Yeah. Roberto Schiavini actually, Ron pointed out, he just come out with a new hockey game.
Did he?
Yeah,
I
I
know
just wrote to him today. It says, "Hey, what's up with this new hockey game? See what's going on with that." So it's mostly quicker play games, but I'm interested to see how this one plays out.
Some of his games, though, you do have a little bit of time setting up. Not too much. There's math involved, but they play the Olympic boxing game was fun. I have that. I played that.
I think what you do is you have the team. It's kind of like the Downey games. Your
Yeah.
offense, your defense, and then there's usually a third wild card thing in there. And he usually does have the random dice roll, and if you roll, it's like a wild card die in there as well, so which makes it
Hey,
kind
Dave,
of fun.
when we were young, what used to go on this weekend? Think about it. When we were young, it was on TV, every channel, every network. What happened on Labor Day weekend?
When you say it, it'll ring the bell. But I'm trying to think. I almost said Wide World of Sports.
Midlife Crisis got it.
I haven't scrolled down to see it yet. What was on the TV all weekend long? Not the
Which-
Twilight Zone, was it?
Would start. I believe would start Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, maybe even Saturday night. I think it was Sunday. Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did
Remember?
that. Yeah. Steve Tower, my History Maker Golf 1980 Biddy Beer Open Tournament is in the top 5 videos on AFR. Such a fantastic game. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And he also says because EA has the exclusive license to NFL simulation, there's no competition. That's why Madden keeps having great sales numbers. I liked it when there was other games that come out. And behind me over here in my PS2 collection I used to like the 989 games, 989 sports, and I used to like them. I like them better than the EA games, and then they only did them for a few years.
I think it does. I mean, they make a lot of money, but I think the leagues do a disservice when they just have the exclusive.
Yeah, it's like, what's the incentive to make it better? You're not fighting against anybody.
Exactly. History Maker Golf's a finner. It's a fun game.
Dave Little, I play a golf tournament whenever I have a 3-day weekend. Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
And it is a great game. Yes, it is. Has anybody ever put together a list of all the sports gaming YouTube channels and podcasts? No. There's a lot out there, though.
What I do, that was Mike, I think, right? Mike Craven?
Yeah.
Mike. What I do when people come into my chat when I stream, if they have a channel that I know of, right? Because sometimes someone might go in the chat, I don't know they have a channel, they're new. And I shout them out. I say, check them out. I'm going to say pretty much everyone in our community who has a channel is worth a subscription, is worth taking a look at their stuff. And you know what? Once in a while, even if you can't, you go by, you watch a video for whatever, hit that like button for them.
Mm-hmm. So you have a first-time listener, long-time caller. Okay, I get that. Battle of the Network Stars. Remember Battle of the Network Stars? That was terrible. Terrible. It
I'm
was
gonna
fun seeing, like Jack Tripper taking on Farrah Fawcett or
let me
something
tell
like
you
that,
something.
but
Farrah Fawcett getting dunked in the dunk contest was not terrible.
no, but like just
I had to go
they were
spend some
when they did
alone
the
time.
monkey bars and the climbing the ropes and they did all that
I'm going to tell
stuff.
you one of my favorite, and
Did they put that on different channels? Because it was
they would
it was
alternate. They would alternate. I
that's
don't
what I,
remember. They would
because
alternate.
they were all from different networks, and I was
Yes,
like, why would channel or ABC put on
they
people from CBS or NBC? But I do remember them
they would
bouncing
switch it.
around.
They for how long it lasted. They bounced it around. One of my favorite sports moments, people,
Oh
pure
boy.
entertainment. Battle of the Network Stars. Gabe Kaplan, exactly. Gabe Kaplan, Robert Conrad from Baba Black Sheep. They were running the relay race, right? Gabe Kaplan was the captain of ABC. Baba Black Sheep was on NBC, I think, or CBS, one of the others. I think it was CBS. Remember Baba Black Sheep?
I remember it. Yeah.
So CBS or NBC? I think it was CBS. Gabe Kaplan is the captain for ABC, and Robert Conrad for the other. I'll say CBS. I could be wrong. Well, it was a tie. It was a tie.
Joyce DeWitt, underrated
He
athlete.
was. It was. It was a tie. It was a hell of a relay race, and they actually used replay to try to figure it out, and they watched it and they showed it, and you couldn't tell who won. So Gabe Kaplan goes, "Why don't we just share the points?" Robert Conrad goes, "I'm not sharing anything with you, right?" He goes, "Okay." He goes, "Well, he goes, "I'll race you for the points." Now, Robert Conrad, looked
Yeah.
like an athlete, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
not saying he's not, but what he did not know was Gabe Kaplan was a very good track athlete in high school. And I don't know if he went, but he was a good athlete in high school. He just didn't look the part. He destroyed him in that run.
Oh, really?
You can find it on YouTube. NBC. So Philip Reynolds says Baba Black Sheep was NBC. Linda Carter. Oh, yeah. She was a Wonder Woman to me, baby.
Yeah.
I
Circus of the Stars. I don't remember Circus of the Stars.
Yeah, I remember that brief. They basically had the circus, and the stars would do the like trapeze and this and that and so on and so forth. I remember that.
Yeah. So let me ask you something here. So I was talking at the beginning of the show. I was kind of recapping my 1978 pro strategy football project that I did.
I haven't seen
I did today. I did today. Yeah.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, it's
Was it
went
good?
as expected. The best game was the AFC Championship game in the snow, Pittsburgh Oakland. That was the best game. I think it's the best game I did all year, and we had some dogs.
I
But
love weather games in real life. I enjoy
Yeah.
them just as much.
I wonder. I don't know if Mike in the truck is still here at all. I wonder how much of that comes into play in the actual game. And I wonder with that, even with Action PC and Second and 10, any computer sim game. I wonder if the weather effects and the wind are just kind of eye candy, or if that affects anything.
I'll tell you right now, in pro strategy football, weather does affect the kicking game, does affect the throwing game, because
How about fumbles when it's wet? Maybe
that I don't know about.
Okay.
But and again, Mike in the truck's still here, but I'm pretty sure it affects the kicking game. I'm the wind, the weather, maybe more the wind. In Action PC, kicking game definitely.
Okay.
It does. You can see it. I think even in no, I don't know about second and 10 because I've never really paid attention. My kickers are so sucky; it doesn't matter. Yes.
Okay. He says weather affects all aspects of the game.
All aspects of the game. Thank you, Mike in the truck.
Okay. So what I was getting at, so I did my replay and I finished it up today with the championship game. We'll call it championship game.
Oh, say Super Bowl.
I just don't want to get tagged and flagged, and I don't want to.
Sorry.
Remember this commercial? We tag it, bag it, and get it on the next flight out.
That's right.
You know what that was?
Tag it, bag. I'm gonna say DH. Tag it. No. Oh. Was it the?
It was. Wasn't it Carl Malden?
Oh, I remember it with American Express. Carl Malden.
It was. I want to say
Was it the luggage commercial?
Was it Eastern? No, it was a package thing before FedEx and UPS.
Oh, so it was the package.
You
thing.
drop it off at the airport and they would send it to you.
That's right.
And I think it was Eastern Airlines.
Oh my God, that goes back. Carl Malden, Streets of San Francisco.
Yeah, we'd bag it, tag it, and get it on the next flight out. So that's how you shipped back in the day if it wasn't post office, And then all these other stuff comes through. So my question is,
yes.
I'm playing the 78 season. Obviously, I love my Buccaneers. Obviously, I like the Patriots. And the Patriots
You
had
played the 79 season.
Yeah, I think I might do it at some point. But I played the 79 schedule. Somehow when I set it up, I chose 78.
You talked about that on
on the show.
On the show, sorry.
I don't know if for some reason when I looked at the schedule, I don't know if it was in order or if it was like
you probably just clicked on the wrong.
Yeah, maybe my eyes were bad. I thought it said 78. I clicked on 79. The next time I set it up, I'm going to pay more pay attention. So my question to you is, how do you? So I'm playing this, and I played a 1 or 2 Buccaneer games, 1 or 2 Patriots games, including a playoff game or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my best to keep my emotions off to the side because you know how you play these things. You really want your team to win.
Yes.
I'm not gonna cheat.
Now you were playing. From when I was watching some of them,
just offense, offense.
And you were letting the computer call the defense, which you can do.
Yeah.
People don't think you can do. You can do that in Pro Strategy Football.
Well, it just suggests the play, and I just leave it. Now, I was calling timeouts for the defense if they were losing because I was controlling both sides.
You can also, instead of the play they suggest, right off the bat, you can say it's not the right terminology, like coach call the play or something. You just click on it and they give you the suggestion again.
Well, I think it does it automatically so after the play's over, you call it up and they suggest a play to you.
Okay.
In a formation. A lot of times, like, okay, I'll go with this. And sometimes, like, no, I'm going to change it up just a little bit here. Yeah. But my thing was, boy, it was so hard trying to play the other team against Tampa Bay and try to play the other team against New England and try to win because it's going against every fiber of my being to try to beat my favorite teams. Yeah. But I had to do it. And it's all fake, but there's still something dirty about it.
It is dirty. It's dirty. Very dirty. The way I do, whether I play the replay online or not, and usually when I'm doing a season, I'll put the playoffs or a big game online because I don't know if everyone wants to watch every game I play with a football game. We'll just leave at Pro Strategy Football, which is really fun to watch anyway. What I do is I have to play all the Patriot games. I don't always put them all online, but I play them. Then when I do a non-Patriot game, usually I do Patriots, Giants. Some of those Giants teams are horrific in the 70s. Like after Fran Tarkenton, like, oh God, it's so bad. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Because then the other games, if I put online, like a game of the week, I just call it. But I just like playing the game much better than calling the game. And here's the thing. I'm doing offline a little fun thing where I'm calling both offenses I chose to use 2nd and 10 because I can have every Patriot team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can have that in Pro Strategy Football. 2nd and 10 is just easier to set up what I wanted to do. I took every Boston team. So I went with the Boston Yanks. I think they started in 44.
Oh.
Up until last year with the New England Patriots. Every Boston team, a.k.a. New England also. So you also get 1 year the Boston Breakers. And I just did a blind draw. And so you could have 2 good teams against each other or 2 stinky teams are good.
Yeah.
And I'm calling the offense, but I tend to start pulling for the underdog, right? Especially if they have a couple of players I like. And I like all Patriot players. I mean, I make fun of Tom Brady, but I like Tom Brady. It's fun to make, you trader and blah, blah, blah. It's,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I find the same thing, Dave, where I'm sitting there going, I don't cheat, I've had some fun games. That's really, I see Uncle Ron. I'm glad he's doing his football project with the game he likes the best.
He's trying to figure it out, like how he's going to do it and whatever. But I think he's settled on the 2nd and 10. I think. because he's used to that
It's a
one.
nice.
It just
It's
clicks
a
for
quick.
him. So good for him.
It's a quick setup because again, all the
Yeah.
photos are there. This art again. There's no animation, but Uncle Ron does. If you don't know who
Yeah.
Uncle Ron is, I'll explain. Ron Juckett, Retro Sports Network, partner in crime of Uncle Dave Gardner. You should know these things if you're on this. If you're watching.
He's been my guest host for over 4 years now.
Yeah, I don't get to host anymore.
He's not a full-time host. He's still a guest host. We haven't signed him to an official contract.
What's that called in basketball? 10-day contract.
A PTO.
Yeah.
Play a tryout contract, 10 games.
But yeah, it's a good game. 2nd and 10. I like it. You had something when you were talking about on was it last show or the show before? But people just getting and again
Upset if someone doesn't like a game.
yeah, getting all pissy. I don't want to be rude because it's
Yeah.
not my channel. So play the games you want, and if you enjoy a game, play that game.
Yeah.
And Uncle Ron, I know he likes strap football too, but I think he does such a marvelous job with the first thing I ever saw him do was 2nd and 10, the replay of the 1958 NFL championship game, Colts Giants. Absolutely fabulous. And again, being an idiot that I am, I didn't realize it was done like 6 months prior for me. I just started listening, and I'm asking all kinds of questions. I had never been on YouTube in my life, right? So I'm like asking questions. Where'd you get this game? Oh, that's a fun play call. And he thought I was some sort of nutbag. It was pretty funny.
He was spot on, yeah.
Yeah, he was spot on.
But yeah, so I'm playing this, and I'm really trying to put my emotion to the side. So it's like New England's playing. They were playing Cincinnati in the playoffs, and New England was just running it, and they were getting 10 yards of whack, and they're killing the clock. And it was like 2 minutes left, and I'm in Cincinnati territory, so I'm like just middle run, inside run, middle run, inside run,
Yeah,
as safe as possible, right? And what happens?
He fumbled.
They fumbled the snap, it looked like on the video, and Cincinnati runs it 10 yards the other way, and if they score a touchdown, they win the game. Like, oh, it's picked up by Cincinnati, and they're going the other way, and they have a chance to win the game. I'm trying to do it, but my head's going, because I'm watching New England choke away the game, and here I am saying, oh, this is great. I
was playing 2nd and 10, a replay of the 1978 season. I think it was 78 or 77. 78. Patriots had a very good team in 78. Won the division, in fact. And it was the Raiders Patriots playoff game. It's an alternate. Whoever wins out, wins out.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a crazy play? I've had a couple of crazy plays I'm going to tell you about. I'm pretty sure I streamed this one. I hit Stanley Morgan on a crossing pattern. I'm reading the description, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm going to win this game. This is going to be where I can run the clock out. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. They return it to my 5 or something. I'm like,
yeah.
I lost. Then, USC against the mythical national championship college game I did a week ago. I don't remember the last time but prior than I streamed last night, or a couple of games I've done this week. It's a good game, and I can't remember where they're playing Oklahoma. Okay. 1 against 2, the mythical, after the bowl game. I said, what if these two teams play?
Yeah.
Right? I'm playing Action PC. It's tied up at 21, I think, or 14. My guy, this is another one you sit there and you go, why? I'm playing as USC, OJ Simpson and stuff. The guy picks off, passing was, horrendous back then at times. I intercept the ball. I'm watching the little square go back. I'm like, yes, I'm going to have great field position. And then you see I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I'm like, first in my head, I'm like, what just happened? I think I have the ball. I'm going, all right, I got the ball. And then I'm reading the thing. The guy pitches the ball to another defensive player. The guy gets hit. The other team recovers fumble. So after the interception, there's a fumble on the return. Oklahoma gets the ball back, and I went downhill from there. So those are two of the craziest plays that I have come across.
One of the things that I was messing up in Pro Strategy Football is on kicks, punts. and kickoffs, when there's a fumble, the teams don't celebrate the fumble. At least that I couldn't see, because there's two or three times on an interception and a hit and a fumble, or a run and a fumble.
You're talking about kickoffs and punts.
Just kickoffs and punts. When the guy's returning and they hit and they fumble, it's like fumble.
But you don't know who has the ball
until the screen comes up, and for some reason, usually you see, hey, all these guys jump up with, and you know who has the ball. So I thought they just recovered it, and a couple of times I start calling the next play, and I'm like, why does this team have the ball?
Yeah.
And when I go back into the play-by-play, the fumble was recovered by the other team, but it didn't have the celebration, and it messed me up because I was going for the visuals, and I really didn't read what I should have read was, okay.
That's a good point. I don't know if anyone's ever brought that up. Again, you can send something to Carrie, or Mike in the truck still here. So
yeah, and I there was one time actually that somebody punted, and there was a flag on the punt, and the guy got it, hit, and fumbled. And they got it back, and I was like, well, I'm not going to re-kick because I'm just going to I'm going to pin them deep. Well, it turns out the punting team recovered, and I should have declined. I either should have accepted or declined the penalty to do something different. And I was like, oh, I screwed that up.
Too.
You know,
I
just didn't see who had the, because I'm playing both teams, and I'm trying to keep the game moving in the whole bit. So, So I messed up. I forget what happened, but there was a flag on a play, and I don't know if I accepted or declined it, but I should have done the opposite, so I would have got the turnover, or I would have. I think I would have avoided whatever it was. I was like, oh boy, I screwed that up. Okay, Mike in the truck says there is a lack of celebrations on special teams. Okay, so I'm not.
Finner, So they already know. Finner says Stone. I like Stone Cold Hockey. I think it's a fun. I like the piece. I'll tell you how much I like the game. I don't play it as often as I should, because we all have a lot of games. I'm like, well, what can I play quickly? Obviously, the PC game's really fun, and you can actually roll your own dice if you want.
Yeah.
The card and dice version is very fun too.
I like the cards and dice version a little bit better. I don't know why.
I think with the cards, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, you figuring out
figure it out.
Yeah. And looking at the chart is fun, and instead of the computer spelling out for you.
Yeah. I think and you guys did a really nice job helping them out with that game because you and Ron are big hockey fans, and you explained, well, this is the way you gave them.
When they were done with feedback. Ron was finding the bugs, and I was helping them set up the box scores and the stats, and because I think they actually had at one point they would have Phil Esposito, and it would be points and then goals and assists, and I was like, no, for hockey, goals, assists, points. Yeah. And so there was a lot of things like that we fixed, and there's some things that we took out that weren't necessary. And when we were done, and they probably hated me because I was like, nope, if you wanted hockey, it's got to look like this. When we were done, I thought it come out fantastic. So
I'll tell you about that game. I'm going to be honest, my favorite hockey game, just because I have a little more control over it, right? I like the action PC hockey game. That's my favorite.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that one.
Stone Cold Hockey, what I love about that, it gives me the dice fix when I want it, that type of game. Again, because sometimes it's a question that's asked every so often. I don't like answering it, and people might think it's a generic answer, but it's true. Okay. What's your favorite game? Well, if I'm in this mode and I want to play this type of game.
Exactly.
Looking at the camera there. I don't do that. This is this is the game of choice on this day in this the mood I'm in. The thing with Stone Cold Hockey is it feels like hockey.
Oh, jeepers, it does. Yeah.
I know a lot of people love the Strat Hockey. I have it on the PC. It does me. It's a very good game, but for me, it doesn't grip me because I'm not. I think it doesn't grip me, but it's Ron loves Strat Hockey. I've watched Uncle Dave and many other people. I watched them play APA hockey. Now I would never get a card and dice hockey game. I just wouldn't. The only one I keep thinking about,
Shootout.
that's the one. That's the one I think about
It's
every once in a
very
while.
similar
Now,
to Stone
actually,
Cold.
I do have I do have a card and dice hockey game, Stone Cold.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have that. Duh. Sorry about that. So, but it feels like hockey to me.
What Stone Cold does very well, that is something I didn't even when I was playing all these games that just come out of the blue with Stone Cold, was that the whole what is the meter that comes down? Is it stamina meter?
Yes, you have the stamina. You start off, I think, with 10 points. But if you're playing the season, which I didn't know, I think you explained it to me or Uncle
Yeah, if you
Ron,
go back to back games,
it brings it down. And I
yeah,
was a little
you
confused
can
by
only
that.
recover so much stamina
Yeah.
back. That's an optional rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was great about the stamina feature is it's something. It's kind of so you're playing. So if you take the hit, you get a power play, but your stamina drops. And then sometimes something else happens. There's a battle or there's a fight, and you lose stamina. Sometimes losing stamina, it means nothing. In other times, you're gonna lose all these different. You're gonna lose the puck. You're gonna lose scoring chance. So you take the hit. You go on the power play, but your stamina comes down. So you don't know if that's gonna. So you're on the power play, great. But if you lose, when they say who's got the highest stamina,
Yeah.
and
The
you
way
don't,
they-
that's when it comes. That's when that works in. It's like
the
that's such a
way-
wild card. I love it.
The way they figured it out is so much fun. Can you go to Appa Brian? He asks a college football question for Pro Strategy Football. They have a fictional college with fictional players, all the teams with the real uniforms and everything, modern uniforms.
Okay.
You can make your own. I've made some college teams. You have to take the time to make them. No one's made a college season, to my knowledge. I've made some college teams, but yes, they have college football. Like they have the actual Penn State, but it's all fictional players. You can go in, change all those players, redo the ratings, little time and effort, but you can have a lot of fun. I keep saying to myself, I want to make more teams, but you come home. When I have time, do I want to play a game or do I want to make teams? Sometimes
Yeah.
I like to make. I like to play games more.
Yeah,
so.
I hear you.
Oh.
Edward joining us here. Hi, Edward. He watched the playoffs after joining. It was fun. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming by, Edward.
Hello, Edward.
And finally talking to you.
Can you go to Mo Dean, because I like buying. So Mo, if you're still there, and I assume he's still there, this Slapshot Hockey. Can you explain this to me? Because I saw this on Avalon Hill on eBay, because I like to buy the Avalon Hill games. It seems really fun. It's like fictional players, but do you actually play the game, or are they just rated and you kind of do a GM thing?
Let's see,
That part I didn't get.
Mike Cravens, he's a fan of Shootout. He wished it was more WHA season. Yeah, I know. I keep nudging John. I'm like, John, you got to make some more seasons. You know what I mean? And so I keep trying to nudge him. But
what do you think? That's a great point. Regardless of game or sport, the ones that don't have a lot of seasons, they're going to do the modern season because that's probably the biggest seller. And I'm not picking on Strat. I'm just going to go back to it because I have my 76 season sitting here, which I'm enjoying offline. It took him, why? And he's probably a smaller, obviously, probably a one-man operation. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. To me, I would think there are certain seasons that are iconic that I would think an organization would, or a gaming company would like to, put out there, like 1986, so on and so forth. What do you think about? We've talked about it for Strat, or I've talked about it on my chats. Like I know you've mentioned it. I'm sure I know you've mentioned it. Like on demand, you'd have to pay a little more because you're saying, hey, if you get X amount of people, can you make this? Now,
I suggested that about Strat or anybody. It's like, okay, if you put it out there, hey, if we can get 100 people that want to order 1982, we'll print them up. But if we don't get 100, then we're not gonna. So we're gonna do a prepay for 1982, and if we get 20 people, not enough, here's your money back. And I know it's extra work and a whole bit, but at least give you an idea if you can sell some stuff. And so Steve Tower is disappointed with his lack of
Okay,
early 80s.
I got some early 80s. No, Steve. First of all, I believe Steve's on vacation. Is Steve? No, he just did a race car game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
He's back. I'm sorry. Hey, Steve, do you remember this one? It was a ripoff of Indiana Jones' Tales of the Golden Monkey. Do you remember that one?
I do not remember that one.
They had a dog. I'm going to take my. He had a patch. Okay. And they would fly a plane and they'd go and they're looking for these artifacts kind of things. But it was Tales of the Golden Monkey. I watched that every Friday. That's an early 80s one. Here's another one, Steve.
I gotta grab a quick drink. You keep going.
Yeah.
You keep going.
Here's another one. Early 80s. I think it was American. Oh God! Now believe it or not, Greatest American Hero had a catchy theme song. That was a fun one. Dukes of Hazzard, right? Late 70s, early 80s. Who wasn't in love with what's her face, Daisy Duke? Come on, we all dated her. You know that. What other early? I don't think I can click on the chat. Let me see if I can click on the chat. I don't think I can because only the person. Let's try this. No, can't do it. So I'll read some of the chat here. World's Worst Gamers singing along. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I think it was Greatest American Hero. Those are.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's something. I don't know if you remember. The Greatest American Hero. The name in the TV series, and I'm trying. I offhand I forget his name. I think it was
the blonde-haired curly guy.
Hinckley.
I think you're right.
And the guy that shot Reagan was
John
the same
Hinckley.
name, and then the next week they had changed his name to Hanley or something.
Yeah,
but they changed the name.
Something about that later on.
Yeah, and I forget how, but I remember the next week. Like, wait a sec. What? His name is Hinckley, not Hanley. And I think it was because of that.
Do you remember BJ and the Bear?
BJ McKay is my best friend, Bear, and the best thing is I don't pay property tax.
Because remember, he was driving the truck, right?
Yeah. BJ McKay.
Okay.
I still see him in movies once in a while. I forget the guy's name, but every now and then.
Okay, here's one more. I don't know if it was an 80s one. Hardcastle and McCormick.
I remember it. I don't remember watching it, but I heard the name before.
So there are some 80s.
So Mo says that it's a beer and pretzel hockey game, but it's simply flip cards. Player with a higher rating scores you the goal. Goalie cancels out any other play on opposite team, and a draft mechanism before the game. I'm not sure if I would like that.
That's the part that looked interesting to me, the draft, but I didn't know how the game played. It has these funny characters, though, but I didn't pull the trigger on it, and thank you, Mo. I wish there was a little more of the gameplay. Not a lot, just a little, because the draft looked fun.
Now, Mike says he likes deck of cards hockey. And he says, I was originally hung up on it because it's played with a deck of cards, but the engine is solid and the gameplay flows. I bought a season. In fact, I paid extra to get all the teams in the season for deck of cards hockey.
Has our good friend Hockey Unreal played that on? I've seen him use a game.
Yes, he loves it. He loves it.
I've seen that.
I still can't get past using a deck of cards to play a game. I've played with decks of cards my entire life, okay? I now want to play your cards. Okay, I want this. I want this. This is what I want. I want that. I want APA. I want Strat. I want this. I don't want to pull out a deck of cards to play a game. I just don't want to take out a deck of cards. I want to take out this. This is my my Stone Cold. My Stone Cold cards. I want your company or you to design the cards, design the charts. I do not want to take out a deck of cards and play. It's not my thing, and I get yelled at. Oh, it's such a great. It maybe is a great game,
but it's not for you.
It's not for me because I don't want to. I don't want to use a deck of cards.
And again, people play the games you like. Not every game's going to be for you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they discussed it on Digital Dice. I don't want to rehash. Check out the wonderful show they did. But not every game is for everybody. There's some games I play and I'm like, it's okay. I don't want to play it again. Greatest American Hero still on. Yes, great theme song. Great. Thank you, Mo.
Hardcastle McCormick was mid-'80s.
I like that. It was Brian Keith was a retired judge, and the other guy was an ex-convict, and they were basically like detectives. They had a fast car.
Yep. Action Sports has the 22 college football season with all D1 teams and others. Oh, I think that's Action PC. I think it's Action PC.
That's coming out. I know the pro game's coming out soon. The what do they call that? The projected.
Strat has college football on the PC, but you got to buy the separate game.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Strat.
It's weird. You got to buy the whole different game.
You have to buy, and I have them both. So before someone says, I'm not bashing. It's my money. I do what I want with it. The thing Strat football is fun. It's fun. I wish the screen would be a little bigger, or that you could make the little the icons bigger when they're the animation for that game.
I think it's the best. Fun. I think it's the best for an X and O game. Yeah. I think it's the smoothest, and you can speed it up and slow it down.
You follow along with the dice. Every once in a while, I think I have the right call because I have the right linebacker, and somebody explained it to me. I really didn't. I did, but I didn't because the way, whatever. But it's a fun game. I just wish you could make the icon, the movement, the animation. I'd like to see them make them a little bigger because it's a little small.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game. And yes, unfortunately,
I think you can roll your own dice in that.
Yes,
too.
You can. But I'm not that. I'm not that savvy. Ron did it. He rolled his own dice.
It takes forever.
Well, there's a lot of rolls in it.
But you can do it. What I like about the Strat Football PC game, and I like it, but it's not really my game of choice. But what I do like, if you're playing it as strictly cards and dice, when you roll the dice, you can click on different cards and actually follow along to see what the result is. So it's like, okay, this is an 8-yard gain. Why? Well, if I go here and I look at the dice roll, it tells me that it's this. Sometimes it does something that I can't figure out, but a lot of the times I can at least say, okay, let me call up the defensive card or the player card, and if I got it right or wrong.
I put the cards up because you can have the view of these certain boxes, but every once in a while, like you just said, there's something like, why did that happen? And Mr. Utah Mike explained a couple of, because he was watching one of the games I did before. I said, okay, that makes sense. It's a good game. I think Strat football is very well done. I just wish it could be okay. Here's the one complaint about Strat football. It has nothing to do with the game engine. When you buy a season or the new game, I can't remember. You have to go through this whole process of re-adding all your seasons in again. It's like when you buy baseball, you just click on it.
Yeah. The football is the one I have the hardest time with. The football, trying to figure out how to start a season, how to start a game. If I play around it long enough, I figure it out. But it's so different than any other of their games. It really is.
I wish they would upgrade that at least. Have every engine like baseball. I buy a season. You click on the season. You say install. With your code, you put your code.
It is weird how they do it. Yeah. Edward says, Action PC includes all 131 Division I teams with over 6,000 individual rated players. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Glory Days Football had all 131 teams.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. All right, so Ray's going to bed. No more bad jokes. He's going to bed.
Take care, Ray.
All righty. And Steve Tower. If some company released a Greatest American Hero or a V board game, he'd go in and kick it. Remember V? That was for the time. It was an all right show. It didn't hold up very well over the time.
Was V the one the people were the lizards?
Yeah, you gotta lick the boot.
Yeah, that was a takeoff of the Rowdy Piper movie, correct? Rowdy.
It might have been They Live. I thought it was before They Live.
Okay, because that's the movie They Live.
Wasn't there a remake of V? It was like a 2 or 3 night special.
Yes.
On TV, they made a remake of it, and the girl had the shorter hair this time.
Because Rowdy, the They Live, they weren't lizards. They were lizards, but it was kind of a similar where only certain people knew, or You
remember the Godzilla movies that every time the aliens came to Earth and they died, when they died, their skin went away and they were always gorillas. It was like they were apes. That was so funny. Every single one of them, they're always apes.
Again, Godzilla. I always rooted for Godzilla. Godzilla is the greatest wrestling scripts ever, because when you pick a monster, even when he's a bad guy, I'm like, I don't care if he destroys Tokyo. I'm rooting for this guy. And as a kid, and I've told this on my channel, so everyone knows, I would be upset when God. That's why when you said you were watching the Mothra, I hate Mothra. How does a
I do
moth
too. Yeah.
beat a freaking radioactive
Yeah.
dinosaur that shoots
Yeah.
like fire?
Okay, here's a question for you. So I now it's fresh in my mind because I've been watching all the old Godzilla movies again. What monster do you think would have the best shot at defeating Godzilla in your mind? Of all the movies and all the other monsters, what do you think? Who would have the best shot?
Mechanical Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla?
Yeah, that and a three-headed
Ghidorah.
Yeah,
Ghidorah, King Ghidorah. Yeah.
Rodan.
I watched the other day, and I when I watched it, I said, this is the monster that would beat Godzilla. It was Hedorah. It was the smog monster.
Because he would pollute.
He's just all pollution, and you can't breathe. And he was throwing stuff at Godzilla, and Godzilla couldn't breathe. And
remember Godzilla would punch him, and all like crud.
Yeah, the crud went everywhere. It's like, how do you defeat pollution? And so I think if anybody had a chance, it was the smog monster, because he's just all dirty and just you punched him and there's nothing there, and he would just shoot the pollution at you. It was just like you were getting toxic, all the whole time.
But Mothra should never beat Godzilla. I still don't understand how. Did you watch the new King Kong Godzilla movie? I think you did.
The one a couple years ago was fantastic.
And people are like, oh, that was awesome.
That was unbelievable. Yeah.
When Godzilla ever looks at, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, not my fault. When Godzilla looks at him after he kicks his ass, and King Kong's like, oh, he's going to kill me. Godzilla looks at him. I turned to Teresa. I go, this is great. Godzilla gives him that look. You dumbass. Now I have to go fight that other thing when we should have been kicking that thing's ass.
Yeah. They were fighting, and then Kong come back and saved them.
Yeah.
And then they looked at each other, and Godzilla's like, all right, I'll go my way, you go yours. That was. I heard they're making another one. Should be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
And Fenner says, he goes, I hated when Godzilla or Kong beat Godzilla. Well, there never was a clear-cut winner, and they did that on purpose. They fell into the ocean.
I'll tell you something. I was a very small child with my dinosaur in my. This is a true story. With my dinosaur in my hand, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's what I used to call my Godzilla before I actually got a Godzilla, right? And I was talking to it, and I remember my mother, God rest her soul, going, I was in the front yard of the house we lived in way back when, and I kept going, how did we lose? How did we lose? I didn't get it. How did we lose?
I don't know. Like I say, they kind of purposely didn't declare a winner.
I thought Godzilla got robbed. But
it's hard to say. It was a quick count.
It was a quick count.
Yeah. The favorite part of that. You ever seen the meme of Godzilla taking the tree? Kong taking it, just stuffing it. Eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetables. I love that meme. It's so funny. They did so many fun things. That was go. Edward said that I think we're talking about the girl from V. She was on Firefly too. Maybe, yeah.
I never watched Firefly. Was that one season?
Wasn't a big fan of that one. I didn't see it either. Oh, and Steve says,
right?
Believe it or not, it's still the highest charting song of any TV theme song.
Interesting. Love Boat? Love Boat was good too.
That has to be up there. That has to be up there.
Love Boat.
Oh, wait. We have a different ruling here. Welcome Back, Kotter. Charted one.
That's
Believe it or not, was reached number 2.
No, but the guy who sings it was a real. Oh my God, he was a good songwriter and singer. The guy who did the Welcome Back, Kotter. It's
So I have a challenge now for Steve Tower. Okay, yes. So not during the baseball game. Okay, because his baseball games are great. But I'm thinking if he can do another sport, whether it's racing or football or whatever, I want him to take out that ukulele and play one of those theme songs. That is a challenge for Steve Tower.
I like it.
I like to take me out to the ball game, but I want now we got to get either Welcome Back, Kotter or Believe It or Not. We need to have just a few bars. Doesn't have to be the whole song, just a few bars now.
As Steve Towers make believe legal representation, we accept that challenge.
I like it. So Steve has some homework now. He's going to up his game. Who knows? Maybe I'll put some drums to it and he can play to it.
Steve, that'd be fun. I watched some of those videos. You're getting better.
Drums are so hard. I actually just
So that's I like when you're I don't remember the song because I don't remember songs, but you were playing like you grab the cymbal
Oh,
because
the YMCA, yeah.
yeah.
I actually did AC/DC Highway to Hell, and it's distorted, and I made a whole bunch of mistakes, and I put it up on YouTube unlisted, and they copyright flagged it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
I didn't get in trouble or anything, but so I disputed it and just said, you know what I was doing? I was playing drums to someone on YouTube who was playing drums to the song.
And what
So
did
it's
they say?
It's already on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm playing to something on YouTube, and I was playing it badly. So I just wrote, it's me practicing my drums to AC/DC. If it's not allowed, that's fine. And it was blocked. They released the block, but I can't monetize it, which is fine. I don't.
Yeah.
That's okay. But I haven't put it public yet because I just don't know what the outcome. It's a 30-day thing. So
it's ridiculous because there's some people who do things.
So all I did was what other people did. Is I played drums to a song, and there's 10 of them. There's 10 people on YouTube that did this. So I'm like, well, why is theirs up and not mine? So
Maybe
I don't
they
want to
got
ruffle any
flagged too,
feathers. Yeah,
But
if that gets unlisted, if that gets okay, then I'll put that up. But by then it's whatever.
For singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" one time. And I remember replying, going, "Are you kidding me? I'm singing because the little music from the game was on. I just was singing along to it." Yeah, YouTube, but yet they can have other videos up of breastfeeding.
Yeah, I know. Fenner says he likes the Dukes theme song. And Rob Scott, Miami Vice.
Miami Vice was good. Vice was good. Yeah.
Tim says John Sebastian.
That's who it is. That's who. He's right. Tim, thank you. It was driving me nuts. Loving Spoonful. John Sebastian, I think, was the lead singer of that 60s group. You know, do you believe in magic? Any young girl's heart?
Oh, okay, yeah. Now the Monday Night Football thing, they've had several of them. I mean, I don't know what they use anymore.
The original Monday Night Football, I'm not going to play it. I recorded it off YouTube. When I'm playing football, just by I put that on in the background. And every once in a while, like I'm playing pro strategy football and the play just matches up with the music.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in heaven.
Yeah, that's cool. Steve Tower chiming in. Hang on a sec.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
I'm his make-believe legal representation.
And David C. says, yes, it was Tim Lavery. Yep. Mike in the truck. What do you got here, Mike in the truck? Know the story of WKRP closing credits song. Instrumental pitch without lyrics. Lead singer just mumbled. Producer loved it as is and kept it that way.
I love WKRP in Cincinnati. I was just talking about that. Thank you, Mike in the truck. Did you watch WKRP in Cincinnati?
I've seen it. I know of it, but I never really watched it.
I enjoyed it. Okay. Lonnie Anderson, I dated her too. But you know the Hindenburg, right?
Yeah.
You can actually find the footage, the newsreel of the actual the humanity, blah, 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 right? And I'm not, because I can't remember the whole thing, that's why I did blah, blah, blah. They took that. They were having a Thanksgiving giveaway. They had turkeys in a helicopter, and they started chucking them. You don't see it, but they're doing it by the radio. And Les Nessman basically does the Hindenburg, the humanity. I laughed because I had seen, read it, and when I was a kid, obviously there's no YouTube or anything like that, but probably when I was watching one of those history shows on PBS, I saw the footage with the live news. The newsreel wouldn't have been live. The radio was live, and then the film footage. But it is one of the funniest things.
I heard that guy could not get another job in the news because of how he just lost it during that. He was supposed to be objective.
It was horrific.
Yeah.
What people don't realize, they used hydrogen, not helium, and again, because there was some sort. I believe there was an embargo against Germany because of Adolf Hitler. And again, I could have that sort of wrong, but that's what it was.
Yeah. Solly Moon here. She's my drum buddy. Okay. Nice. And I found her channel on YouTube. And if you want to see someone play drums better than me, go check out Solly Moon on YouTube. And I I was this close to buying my electronic drums, right? I was like, I'm gonna get my drums, and I'm looking around on YouTube, and I stumbled on her channel, and she's a few years younger than me when she started playing the drums, and I'm like, well, that was the push I needed
I
to
think
go
you're doing good
and get
too.
the drums, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. I'm going to be terrible. The guitar I can do, the bass I can do, I can sing, but I'd never played drums before. I always wanted to, and I was like hemming and hawing, and I had this thing in my cart, and I never bought it. And then when I went to her channel, and she's just like, get it, just she goes, I learned that when I'm older, so I said, I'm going to try to learn it too. And so she was a big push behind me to go get
Solely
behind the
Moon,
drums.
do you remember or you probably remember there's a group called The Band. The lead singer, or one of the singers, he was the drummer.
I don't
They
know how they do that.
I
Do you
always
see the
thought
Eagles and a few other
yep.
bands, and the guy's like,
Well,
"Yeah, take me
yeah.
home," and I'm like, How?
So the band, I guess they were a backup band for or they would open before they became their own act. But yeah, that always I was like, how did that? Like you just said, how does he do that? And Dave, they're giving scenes of the turkey episode in the chat. It's pretty funny.
Oh,
Richard Tone goes, hitting the pavement like bags of wet cement. No way you could do that now. Exactly. The turkeys were just, you didn't see it, but the visual was hilarious. Like you could. And then Les Nessman goes at the end, the ones who survived mounted at some sort of counteroffensive, and they took it out on me like they chased him around. It was first.
Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Let's see. Phil had a question here for us. If you had one football, baseball, boxing, basketball game the rest of your life, which one would it be? Oh, jeepers, this is the whole desert island question.
Yeah. Okay. So are we going to answer this? You want it just for ha-has? I'll go first. Now,
I don't have one. I don't have one.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Just like what you said earlier.
Yeah.
What are you in the mood for? Do you want a computer game? Do you want a cards and dice game? Sometimes I wanna pull out APA and look at the charts, and other times I want to pull out strats and not look at the charts. Sometimes I want season ticket. It's what I'm in the mood for. That's why I have so many different things to play.
I'm going to go with Dave's answer now, because I don't want to be on a desert island. I don't want to think about that. I'll tell you this. If I had to grab stuff, I would die in a fire because I tried to grab all my
yeah. I can't put my finger on it, because I will play a game and be like, this is the best game ever. And then I jump on another game like, oh my gosh, this game's unbelievable. I can't make up my mind.
Solely Moon says that's crazy cool, drumming and singing. Yeah, check out the band. Phil Collins. Someone put up Phil Collins, another one. I just was watching a lot of Fleetwood Mac yesterday.
Especially back in the day, because when you have the headset on, you can be like, okay, I'm going to sing the song. But when it's just the standard mic, and it's like, you're like this with the microphone, it's like, how can you be doing this and still singing to the mic? I just don't get it. Much respect to drummers. After I tried playing drums, I think back to some of my back in 83. I started playing guitar in 83. And even the bands I was in, I give so much credit to these guys now, because I would be playing and they'd be playing the drums, and I don't know how they did it. We were all young kids and they were so good. They were so good.
What was it? So I was watching Fleetwood Mac and I like to watch the live stuff to see how much, they sound pretty much similar, but they would focus in on the drummer that was Fleetwood, whatever the hell his name is. But just watching him, I'm like, how do you? And he did that thing like when you grab just to stop it for a second. How do you stay? I couldn't even do that with that game. What was it called? Rock Band. I was horrible. I couldn't even do that.
I loved the drums in Rock Band. I did. I loved the drums. I loved the bass. Every night for a few months, I would come downstairs and I'd put on the Rock Band and I would play bass to Red Barchetta from Rush. And I'd be on medium. I wouldn't be on that good, but I'd be medium. But when I played the drums, I couldn't keep a beat. I couldn't get the bass.
How you doing, buddy?
Carlos
was with me at 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep, and I'm playing that game. I might as well stream it. What the hell, right? I couldn't even do. There was Rock Band, and then there was Guitar Hero. but I
Yep.
would play Guitar Hero with the controller because I couldn't do it. Now when you played those games, and now you're a musician, so I had the classic 70s game, right? Version of
Mhm.
it. I'd get so mad if I messed up.
yeah.
I
Oh
messed
yeah.
up the song.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to play the bass, but I couldn't really do it though because it just was unnatural. The drums were fun if you put on medium, but I still couldn't get the bass with my foot, and that's still what I have problems with when I play drums is the bass.
Mick
Uh
Fleetwood.
oh. Steve Tower chiming in. It sounds like he's mad.
I like Fleetwood Mac. I just don't remember his name.
Can I get a large fry and a Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah.
Oh, here's another good one. Where was it, Rob? The SWAT theme. So, that's in my head. In my head. Yeah. I can still hear that, and I haven't heard
That
that
is a
in
good
probably
one.
30 years. But that was drilled into my head.
Robert, God rest his soul, Robert Urich, the worst sniper ever. I remember watching SWAT go, how many times is he going to miss a shot here?
Oh, David C says, I'm dating myself here, but I really enjoyed the instrumental TV theme songs from the 70s and 80s. We all do. We all were there. We all were there.
Now, what was it with? I dated Valerie Bertinelli, by the way, also in my mind. What was that? This is it. This is it. Every day. What the hell was that show called?
What is it? What was it again? This is it?
The theme song, Valerie Bertinelli, Mackenzie Phillips.
Oh, was it One Day at a Time?
Yes.
With Schneider, the house guy? Schneider, I'm here to fix your sink.
Mrs. Romano.
I know. Yeah, I like that one too. That was good.
Then there was Alice, Kiss My Grits. That was Flo.
That was
was-
another good one. I did like Alice. One Day at a Time. Yeah.
They were on Sundays, I think.
Everyone got this one, Al. Everyone got this
I
one.
couldn't think of the name.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, bum 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 bum.
Those movies with Tom Cruise are fantastic.
You
I
know what else
binged them
is it?
one weekend. They were on one channel. I forget. When you watch
just
them on
watch
like
binge.
if they're on like FX or TBS
Yeah.
or something like that, they're 3 hours long because of all the commercials. And I sat there one night. I don't know why, but I ended up watching like 3 or 4. Oh, no, what it was? My wife. I think she was on the cruise, and I'm just sitting home alone, and I ended up watching like all 5 of them with commercials one night. I was like, holy, they were great. They really were great. I really did like that.
Peter Gunn was another good theme. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I'm not doing it justice, but Peter Gunn theme. Look it up. Very good. From the
Oh,
60s.
Hawaii 5-0 theme. That's another good one. Yeah, that's another good one. I did like that one.
That's great.
Tim asks, have you played data boxing?
No, I haven't. I believe I'm in that Facebook group page. I've looked at it a couple of times. I have my boxing games that I like. I like Glory Days Boxing. I like Title Bout on the PC. Gary Brown's Legends of Boxing on the PC. I would like to try that game. I don't even know how to order that game. I kind of went to the site, and maybe I'm stupid or something. And probably is me. But I like boxing games.
One Day at a Time theme song was by Linda Randall. Interesting. I didn't know. Do you know what I did here? And I'm hoping I'm getting it right because I'm old. But I heard that someone wrote a ton of jingles, like the McDonald's special sauce, lettuce, cheese. I think they said was it Rod Stewart?
Yes. Teresa,
Was it Rod or Billy Joe? One of the two?
Nurse Teresa told me, that's my wife, last month, I wish she's playing Diablo, or I'd go grab her right now.
Oh, Diablo's great. Diablo's great.
I
played the new one, but the old one's great.
No, but I bought, because she likes that game, I actually bought her a PS5.
My wife likes that game too. We played that to death. That was so fun.
So she's playing that right now. It's her downtime. But I think it was Rod Stewart.
Oh wait, Richard's Barry Manilow. Maybe
it was Barry Manilow.
It was one of the
It
guys
was
from
somebody
like that from the 70s, and they wrote like all these jingles
I
for
think it
these
is Barry
songs.
Manilow. I think.
Yeah,
Richard,
I think you would be correct with that. Yes, he didn't sing them, but he wrote them.
He wrote them, right?
Yeah. Tim says data boxing is free on the Board Game Geek website. Okay.
Okay. Again, like I said, I went to try to look, and I don't go to Board Game Geek. I was trying to figure out how to get the game, but yeah, it looked the person who did it put a lot of time. effort into it. Legends of Boxing version 2 is coming out soon, so don't order it just yet. If you're going to order, wait for the second version. I have Legends of Boxing on the PC already, and when the next version comes out, I'll get it.
Okay,
I
Barry
hope they-
Manilow. Okay, I
it
knew
is
the
Barry
chat
Manilow.
room would
Thank you,
come
Mike,
through.
for
Yeah,
that.
but I did when I remember hearing
But
that.
isn't
It's
that
like,
interesting when you find
it's
out?
kind of
stuff
neat.
like
That's
that?
like he wrote a lot of the. He wrote the Big Mac jingle.
Yeah.
You know.
What else were some good themes? I mean, I Love Boat has to
Rob
be.
says Charlie's Angels lousy theme, but Farrah's poster was amazing. yeah.
And he dated her too.
Yeah. What was the Charlie's Angels theme? I can't even. Think
I don't even
of it.
remember it.
Yeah, it's just.
But who was the voice? What was it? John Forsythe? Was he the voice that came out of the? Remember, you never saw him. The guy who was on
Yeah.
Dynasty. I think he was the voice.
Hello, Angels. Yeah. I don't remember.
What
who
was
that
the
voice
Million Dollar Man theme? Was it? Was there a $1 Million Man theme? It had to have one.
Yeah. That intro was great with the spaceship crashing.
Oh yeah, that was.
And
one
then
of
he's
the
in it. We can rebuild him. And he had the technology. So
Yeah.
I don't think the theme song mattered. That whole intro was fantastic. You remember who his boss was?
dark hair.
He's the worst. I still consider him one of the weakest characters in a I don't know if you call it a sitcom. It's not a sitcom. In a TV show. It was a great show, but he had to be one of the weakest characters ever. You remember who his boss was?
He had dark. I can see him. I don't know the name.
Kind
dark
of balding head, I think.
Yeah,
Dark,
he-
heads and sideburns.
Hair. Yeah.
Think a trash can.
He's not Oscar the Grouch.
No, but
Oh,
at
it's
first
gonna kill
you
me.
got the first name right.
Oscar. You're right. What the hell's his last name? Ah,
Not Silver.
Oscar Gold. Min.
Oscar Goldman. he was horrible. Steve Austin's the best guy ever. He's taking orders from this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, boop, 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 see?
Favorite episode. It has to be the Bigfoot one, the 2-part.
Oh yeah. And you know what else was a good one? When he played football against Dick Butkus.
Yes.
When he was out in the field, and he's like, he goes, I can beat all you guys. Oh, yes. It was like 5-on-2 or something like that. And he's like,
I remember, I believe Andre the Giant played Bigfoot.
Yes, he
I
did.
believe he did.
Andre did play.
And
Yep.
that was, remember at first Bigfoot was the enemy, but then it's because they had something on him. And then he fought with the $6 Million Man. It was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Love that show. John Forsythe. Let me tell you something. One of the, hi Larry. John Forsythe was in Dynasty. They had one of the best cat fights ever between Joan Collins. They were fighting in their. What was his? Oh God, Linda Evans, I think was her name.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They went in the pool and everything. I was like, this is awesome. I remember waiting for that because they kept hyping that they were going to get in a fight, but you didn't know what kind of fight. I remember watching that with my mom. Even my dad stayed home.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes, because my mom watched that. That was a nighttime soap opera.
Yeah, like
Like
Dallas or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was ABC. Dallas was on CBS with one of the stupidest. They killed the best character. Then that had to be fun sitting in that meeting. Our ratings have gone down a lot. You remember how everyone said they wanted JR to be dead? Well, they don't. It's a dream sequence.
Oh, and he wasn't allowed to watch Charlie's Angels. That was
Carlos.
pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a bummer, man.
that's a bummer.
Did Rick Derringer also do Hulk Hogan's Real American theme song? That I don't know.
That wasn't bad.
Steve Tower says Jeff Berry's the writer for the theme song One Day at a Time.
All in the Family was a fun theme song. Someone put that in there. That was a fun one.
Yeah, Hawaii Five-0 theme song for the
Yep,
win. That's one.
that's
It's very
just great.
recognizable.
That is- I
The
can't
waves
believe-
crashing,
Oh,
you can hear that.
What about the Addams Family? Bum 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 bum.
Oh, that's another
Bum,
good
bum,
one.
bum,
Yeah,
bum.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Gilligan's
I like-
Island. I mean, come on, we all know that one by heart. Yeah, by heart. Yep, yep, that really was. The
A 3-hour cruise. A 3-hour cruise.
Moonlighting. That was a great show. A little adulty for me when I was a kid. That I didn't really quite understand
He was a
it.
detective.
But yeah,
That
they
was
had a
on-
private eye agency. Was it Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. You're right. That was a little, but that was fun. I like that one. Sybil Shepherd. I did. I date her. Yes, I did. I dated her too.
Yeah.
Finding out a lot of things about Al Red Sox.
We're gonna need another show. We're
snap.
talking about Dallas. Yes, yes. Family Time. I don't remember the Family Ties theme song very much. I remember the show. That I don't remember that one too much.
You remember when Tom
But
Hansen
Jefferson's absolutely. That
Moving
and
on.
Good Times. Remember Good Times too.
temporary laid off.
Good Times.
You know what pissed me off about Good Times, and I love that show? John Amos, right? Is that A-M-O-S? John Amos? He was the father.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted more money because
I
and
remember
they
that.
killed him
They
off.
killed him.
And you know what happened? I didn't watch the show. I mean, that was
it. Yeah, that was.
I did. I would periodically watch, but we would sit down again. Times were different, so and if I get the wrong day, I always think.
I mean,
things
he
are-
was such a hard ass, and he was such a. But I mean,
he was a
he
great
worked hard for
father.
that family. Yeah, he got killed in a car accident, and Flo had the punch bowl, and she shattered the punch
Yep.
bowl. Damn, and the show really never was the same.
No, because you needed that. You should have gave him the money, you cheap bastards.
The just the dynamics of the
Change.
parents and the kids and the neighbors. Who was the hot little neighbor that would come in from time to time
Yeah.
too, and
Ah,
she was
it was a good
so
show.
funny.
But
But yeah,
what
that killed
happened
it.
was, I still watched on occasion. Again, I want to say it's a Sunday show, but it might not be, because I remember we'd watch with the whole family. These were family shows, right? It was about everyday life. It didn't matter if they were
Yeah.
African Americans, Italians, Jewish, Puerto Rican. It was a family show, right? And you
Mhm.
sat and you related to it. It was very relatable. And then you kill the father off.
I know.
What the heck?
I know. Oh, I have the Expos hat behind me, by the way.
Bum, 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 bum.
The Blue Moon Detective Agency. Yes, that was. Yes, that's right.
Sybil
Yep.
Shepherd
Yeah,
and
Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. Yep.
Bruce
Yep.
Willis.
Oh,
Moonlighting.
I need to answer this right away here. Larry says, "Have I had a chance to reach out to Marco? Hope he's doing okay." Yes,
He's
yes.
doing all right.
I
Okay.
reached out to Marco and I reached out to Replay Gamer. Both are fine. Replay Gamer is hoping to get back online in the fall. He just says he just doesn't have anything he thinks anybody wants to watch. I'm like, what are you kidding me? We love your channel.
I always enjoyed his channel.
And I reached out to Marco. Marco's doing okay too.
playing
He's
a
just
lot
got
of golf.
yeah, he's just got it. Yeah, he was out golfing there, but he's got his whole health issue
He
now
has
at
to
his
take
house.
care of his health issues.
Yeah,
so
but he says he's still playing games. I think he's doing some video games now because it's just easier.
it's easier.
But
It's
I
easier.
did reach out to both, and both said they are fine. So yes, I just wanted to let everybody know that I did reach out to them. Different Strokes, that was okay. What you talking about, Willis? That was a good one.
Good catchphrase.
Rockford Files was always on too late for me.
I love.
Never really did that one.
So in my
Maud.
vi-
that
I
was-
love the theme. Hated the show because I didn't like. Even as a kid, I couldn't stand her raving.
yeah, she was just a. She
Yeah.
just was like the aunt that you didn't like, that you had
Yes.
to kiss at the family
Yes.
reunions. You just like no.
Aunt Sally's coming over. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Fenner says Buck Rogers with Aaron Gray.
Oh,
Oh.
she had that tight white suit.
You remember
hated
on
her
South
too.
Park when they had Chef
Yes.
and the
you
kids
do the
like
song, make
kids
it
like she's this girl's so pretty, and he's like, are you talking like Aaron Gray season 3 Buck Rogers pretty? And the kid's like, I guess. Yeah, she
was a good
was.
thing.
She was
She-
in Silver Spoons too, right?
Oh, I think you're right.
The rich guy that acted like the kid, and he had the little train that went around in his living room because he had so much money.
Was Ricky Schroeder in Silver
Yes,
Spoon?
I think Ricky Schroeder was the kid, and
I
she was
think
like
you're right.
like the caretaker of the estate or something like that. Yeah.
I like her better in Buck Rogers, tighter clothes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Who was the robot?
BB.
No, Bitty, 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 bitty.
Twiggy.
Oh, Tweaky, Tweaky,
Tweaky.
Tweaky, Tweaky. Yeah, Tweaky. And just be happy we got him the good times. Yes, that was such a good one. Yeah.
Temporary layoff. Good times.
Taxi,
I
Taxi was
like
okay.
Taxi. Jim, Reverend Jim was my favorite character. Here's my favorite Taxi episode. They had one where the owner's wife would come in once a year and she'd have an affair and that person would get fired, right? So Louis, because she just wanted to, her husband would always cheat on her. So this is her payback, right? And he would fire whoever she had the affair with. And Louis, Danny DeVito was Louis De Palma. He ran the shop, the garage, right?
Mhm.
And he's laughing. And people are like, and I forgot who it was. I think it was the good-looking guy. I can't remember his name. The one who wanted to be the actor. He goes, or someone who was new goes, well, what's the big deal about her? Alex, who's this woman? And Alex goes, oh my God. And he runs and hides, and they're all hiding. And so she picks, and Louis like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And she looks at him. She goes, you. He went, me? She goes, my husband hates you. And then but that was funny.
Tim says Dynamite was overused in Good Times. I don't know. I think it was all right.
J.J. Walker. Dynamite.
Oh, Super Bowl. Mike in the Truck. I loved this show. I used to watch this
Conrad.
when I would go to my dad's house. It was like 4:00 on a Saturday, and we would watch it. And the best thing about this show.
Did you want to live on a train after? I wanted to live on a train.
No, what was great? Like, I'm not a big fan of westerns, but those two worked together. And the best part, like, right before the commercial when they froze, and then it turned it into the little mosaic, and that was the picture. And then they kept adding to that mosaic throughout the show. So every time I went to commercial and the mosaic come up, you got a little recap of what had happened. And I thought that was the coolest.
So clever.
It was so clever at the time.
Artemis. It was James West and Artemis Gorman. Artemis. Oh God.
It was just so good the way they pulled just stuff. And the other guy, not Conrad, but the other guy, I forget his name now.
Artemis,
but
his character.
He was always dressed up as different guys, and he would come in. Oh, how's it going here? I'm from Saudi Arabia, and he would have all these different disguises, and he'd be weird, and he was.
Remember, they had the we'll say little person, the midget. I said both. Doctor, what the hell was his Professor something? He was like an arch villain. Professor. Oh God, that was a fun show. That was a hell of a fun show.
That went on for Rob likes Sesame Street. It's okay.
I never had any relations with anyone on Sesame Street, to my knowledge.
Yeah, Larry's glad to hear that everybody's doing okay.
Yeah, that's always good.
Oscar was originally orange in color. That's interesting.
Green fit him better.
Yeah, it did. I did talk to them both on email. Both said they were fine. So I got back to them and said that we're missing you guys,
Knight Rider. That was good. Talking car. Yeah, Replay Gamers channel. I enjoy it. It's a good channel.
You know what's good about his channel? That's a channel that you can put on real late at night. Like sometimes I'll put on YouTube and go to sleep at night and just listen to somebody play a game, whether it's live or whether it's not. He's just got that relaxing voice.
I think he did radio though.
Maybe because
I want to say he talked about that before. I'm pretty sure.
Because you put him on and he's just like, all right, now coming up to bat is Fergie Jenkins, and we're gonna roll the dice, and here's the dice, and this is gonna be a little lazy fly ball to left field, and it's so soothing, and he's so relaxed, and he has so much fun doing it. That's what I love about his channel.
I've always said if you're gonna do a YouTube channel, have fun doing it. Don't get frustrated.
Oh my gosh, Steve Towers still going back on the Joyce DeWitt.
Joyce DeWitt, she looked, she looked better on Battle of the Network Stars than
yeah. I think they maybe scaled her down.
I dated Suzanne Summers too.
I'm thinking they scaled her down a bit to make Suzanne Summers
even more hot.
Yeah. What's happening? Rerun. We were always called Rerun as kids because we were chunky boys. So my mother's always calling us Rerun.
Or the Beret.
Yeah. I don't remember too much about what's happening, but I remember Rerun.
There was a malt shop. There was a wisecracking waitress. basically it's surrounded. I'm trying to remember back. I watched a lot of that, but it's funny because I don't remember.
I don't remember much
They
about
would
it.
go to the soda. That's not the right word. Little diner. That's still not the right word.
Malt
And
shop or something like that?
yeah,
Or
it kind of revolved around that a lot. White Shadow, the basketball
that
show.
was all right.
Love the White Shadow.
Well-
We've talked about that forever on my station.
Cheers was another good theme song. Yes, it was. Oh, Silver
Everyone
Spoons was
knows
awesome.
your name.
I don't remember the Silver Spoons theme song, but I remember the show. Richie Rich, I remember that a little bit. Brian, you are late. We've been having a heck of a time reminiscing. I mean, seriously.
Hello, Brian.
We've gone way back. Yeah, it was Tweaky. Beady, 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 beady. Hey, Buck.
Well, favorite.
Susan Day.
I had relations for her too. Or dated. That's
All right, here's the trivia. What was the name of the bus driver? I use this trivia question all the time. Who drove the
I
bus?
don't know. It's not the manager, right? He wasn't.
Yeah,
the
it was. Who drove the bus? Who was the manager?
the blonde-headed guy.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't remember his name.
In the show. In the show, what was his name?
I know he's the manager. I couldn't remember. That was a very distinctive bus, by the way.
It was.
Then partridges, remember? Because they were partridges.
His initials were RK.
Robert Kent.
No. I'll give the chat room a couple minutes to see if they can come up with it. So
They're
who
all
drove the
looking
Partridge Family bus?
They're all frantically looking online.
Larry was a Sanford and Son fan when he was a kid.
What the?
I Dream of Jeannie. Yes, Barbara Eden. Total Smoke Show. Yes, she was.
I definitely dated her.
And
Bewitched. Bewitched.
And this the two who's it? Larry Hagman was the husband, and the other guy, the goofy guy, he was good too. That was just they just worked so well together.
Do you remember he was also on the original Bob Newhart show when the psychologist, and he still played a guy he was like an airline pilot.
Oh, of course, you got the Batman TV show. Reuben Kincaid. Did they get it? Reuben Kincaid. Yes, Reuben Kincaid was the driver and the manager. Let's see. Oh boy, we need another hour for just a Sid and Marty Krofft discussion.
Are those the puppets on Saturdays?
That's Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. Did they also do the
Did they do Land of the Lost?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they did Land of the Lost.
I've had this discussion before. Is that the crappiest father? I'm going to leave you guys here, and when I find a way out, I'll come back and get you. I think he didn't like his kids.
I don't mean, dude. If I get a chance to get out of it, I'm out of it. I'll send someone back for you guys. Sorry, dude.
And they're lucky that their uncle was looking for them, because that's what happened. I used to watch it every Saturday. They did a funny. I tell you, because I watched it.
Who are the worst shooters? Stormtroopers from Star Wars or Sleestack from Land of the Lost?
Sleestacks.
They had a shooting contest.
It's close, but the Stormtroopers every once in a while hit something, I think. The modern ones do. But Sleestacks were horrible.
Remember they'd have the little wrist rockets there, and the things are just...
Did you ever see the Will Ferrell comedy, Land of the Lost, where they kind of spoofed the whole thing in a way? That was
the movie that was great. Yeah,
I mean, if you did, if you watched Land of the Lost when you were a kid.
Oh yes,
it was
funny. He was in Silent Bob, one of the Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob Go to Hollywood, which is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Is that the one where they're going across and they're
trying to find They're trying to bring the orangutan back.
But is that the one where they're also people they're stopping at people's houses who gave them bad reviews?
Yeah,
you said we sucked.
yeah. So he plays a some kind of a sheriff. No, marshal. He's a marshal in the movie. What do you think his name is?
I'm going to cheat because someone put it in the chat. Marshall, Will, and Holly.
Marshall, Will, and Holly. Yeah, that's his name in the movie. Wait, in the Land of the Lost movie that he was in, remember the part when they were hanging down and they were trying to swing to get away from the dinosaur that was coming? And he's like, looking good, guys. Point the toe a little bit more.
My favorite thing when the dinosaur ate him and it poops him out and he pushed out like whatever and the dinosaur was his friend after.
Oh, yeah. He was constipated.
Yeah, he was constipated. He loves me now. That's why he was so angry.
Yeah, Reuben Kincaid. Yep, he was there. And Sid and Marty Krofft landed a loss. Okay. Yeah, that was another good one. Richard stopping by. Hi, Richard. Coach reads some White Shadow.
Richard's been here for a while. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah, the White Shadow was an interesting show. I'm not a big
I enjoyed
basketball guy, so I didn't watch it much because I'm not a basketball guy.
White Shadow, and we've talked about it when I first started streaming. When I used to like do these chats, it'd be 5 people. We stayed up to like 3 a.m.
Who was
they touched on?
Where did he play? He played like the
Chicago.
lieutenant of a police. He was in a police movie. Was it SWAT that he was in? That he was like the lieutenant?
So. He was in something before, and then he did White Shadow. I think it was SWAT.
Because he was, I remember him being some kind of a police guy.
I want to say his name was Ken Howard. He just passed away a few years ago, I believe.
Oh, he did?
White Shadow touched on things that were very to date, meaning like.
Keep going, I'll be right back.
No. The White Shadow, they touched on drugs and inappropriate, like rape and stuff like that. It was just a good show. Plus, they had the basketball and some comedy. Kolchak, Night Stalker, Super Bowl tournament, Mike and the I love that. I've watched. It was only 1 season. I watched it. They made 3 TV movies. I think 3 or 2. But Netflix at one point, you can find them all on YouTube now. Anyway, Night Stalker, the original, they have fun stuff. Monster of the Week, good stuff. I love Night Stalker. After further review with Steve Towers has got to run. Happy gaming and have a great weekend, everyone. You too, my friend. Brian Hoxie. Hey, Al. Well, I was just talking about that. I got to finish my History Maker golf tournament. So, yes, we're going to finish that. World's Worst Gamer. I'm surprised that Al. Oh, HBO Championship Boxing had a great theme. Yep. Yes, they did. Yep. They did.
Rakasha. I don't know Rakasha, but it scared the crap out of him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. This one here, obviously. Kolchak, the Night Stalker. That was so. Who did I talk to? Was that. I don't know if it was Jacket I talked to about that. Is someone that is a big fan of Kolchak the Night. Was it you? A big fan of Kolchak? Okay.
Yeah. You can find. I watched them all on Netflix one time. And there's 3. You can find them all on YouTube and the movies. They originally started as, you know how they used to do network movies? So I think the Rakasha, he's talking about Night Stalker. I think.
Kolchak the Night Stalker, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
that was such a for a young kid in the 70s.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy stuff. I mean, the whole ghosts and phantoms and werewolves and creatures in the sewers. When he was down there trying to get pictures of them. I mean, you got to think. There's no cell phone. There's no internet. It's a very different time than it is nowadays. Yeah, so help is not right at the end of your fingers. Right. You're on your own.
And with the good thing about Night Stalker, if you're interested, you can find again. I keep saying you can find them on YouTube. Be prepared. And everyone in our chats are usually older, around our age or older. So it's in the 70s, so don't expect certain things, but they're fun. You want to have some, if you like Twilight Zone, not as good as Twilight Zone, but fun. Watch the vampire one. Oh my God. That was one of the movie ones. My favorite, they did one on like Jack the Ripper coming back in time or like the demon of Jack the Ripper. That was good.
I gotta watch those again. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
David C says the monkeys. I love the monkeys. I got monkeys on my iPod. I love the monkeys.
People make fun of the monkeys, right? You know who wrote their songs? Neil Diamond. The woman from what's her name? I forgot. They had the best songwriters. Daydream Believer and all that stuff. Those are good songs.
The Monkeys' greatest hits were so good. Last Train to Clarksville.
Yeah.
Daydream Believe. Even the Monkeys theme song is good. They were such catchy, fun songs.
Let me tell you another thing.
Those episodes were so good because they would be goofy at the end, and then they'd run around at a fast speed at the end of the show, but they'd be trying to play the song while they're getting attacked by the bad guys. The Monkeys were awesome. They were awesome.
That was like the Scooby-Doo version when they did that. When they run. But let me tell you something, Dave. If you ask someone, hey, did Jimi Hendrix open for the Monkeys or the Monkeys open for Jimi Hendrix? What do you think?
I would well, probably at the time I'd say the Hendrix opened for the Monkees.
And you are right. Because
And
they
then over
sold-
time, I would well, Rush opened for some bands that they blew away. And you're like, how did Rush ever open for these? Rush open, I'm trying to think who it was, but there was a few bands like Rush opened for them.
But my
There's no way
point-
Rush opened for them.
Now, what they did with the Monkees were two people were musicians in actuality, and two people were actors.
Oh, really?
Look, and again, look it up. I might be wrong. They and the Nesmith, the guy who worked
Nesmith, Mike Nesmith.
Nesmith. Sorry, Nesmith. I believe his mother invented whiteout or something. He was rich. Their family was
really?
rich. Look it up. I
So maybe
remember
that's
these
why he
years-
didn't want to do the reunion, because there was a time that everyone was going to do it, but he didn't want to. He's like, no, I don't want to.
And he was. They were mad. They would have went a little longer, but they wanted to do their own because they could play.
Yeah.
And they said we want to do our own songs and we want to sing. No, Tim, you're right, but that's when they went off the air. They wanted to do their own songs, and they said no because they had the best writers and plus.
You remember the one of the Brady Bunch movies? Probably the first Brady Bunch movie.
I thought they were funny.
They made fun of themselves and a whole bit, and so they went to the talent show to try to win money to save the house.
Yep.
And
because he was an architect and he was always building the same type of house.
and it was
And
Davy Jones was at the thing, and he's
And
like,
Davy
he goes
Jones
over
was
to the
actually-
piano player and goes, just play this. Ding, 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 ding. And it's like all the old women were there, like, oh, and all the kids like, what the hell's going on here? But all the parents were like,
Yeah.
that was
Davy
awesome.
Jones, I think, was actually on an episode of the Brady Bunch. That's what made it funny.
Yeah,
Don Drysdale, I think, was on an episode. Joe Namath, I
Joe
think.
Namath.
too.
Yep.
That's I think that was a Joe Namath one when Marsha got her nose busted with the football. I can't remember, but
Might have been, yeah.
I used to like that stuff.
Oh no, or was that the one when they pretended Bobby was sick? He's really sick. He's
with Joe-
dying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe, he wants to meet Joe Namath.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Marsha.
Marsha.
Torque and Nesmith were the action musicians at the time.
Yep.
So Mickey Dolenz was on the drums.
Right. And Davey, he was an actor, but he did some musicals, so he could sing. I like the Monkees.
We need more things like the Monkees. I will agree with that. We need more.
I
Monkees,
agree.
You know. James Garner as Brett Maverick. That I'm not familiar with.
Maverick, but he's right. But Maverick actually went back to the 60s too, where James Gardner, that was an original character he played on a Western, Maverick. With fun kind of show, he was a gambler. And I want to say Roger Moore also, was he Maverick? Roger Moore was like his English cousin or some crap like that. Every once in a while, it would come on, and I didn't care when Roger Moore was on there. I want to say that was Maverick, but yeah, that was an old Western. The 60s and 50s had a ton of Westerns. Again, if you ever watch the Gunsmokes in black and white, the stuff they talked about, child abuse. I'm sitting there because I remember the ones in color. You know, when I came home from school and watched them, they were more action, but the stuff they touched on, the topics, you sit there and you go, holy cow, they never really would do that kind. I mean, you just wouldn't think of it. But I love Gunsmoke. Fun show. When Marshall Dillon just backhands someone, and he was a big dude, James Arness. He played the monster in The Thing in the original.
Oh, really?
There's a scene, I've talked about it. Things we were just talking about last week. In the original Thing, there's a scene where they doused the monster and put him on fire, right? And people had commented, and I knew it because I watched a documentary on it. Like I was watching, like in YouTube, people, well, that looks like they really were on fire. And someone goes, because the guy really was.
Oh yeah,
They put him in a fire suit, and they lit him on fire. And when people are going, it looks like they're really trying to because they really are trying to put the fire out. They lit the whole thing on fire. He goes jumping out the window.
Nice. Yeah. Carlos likes the Gunsmoke.
Oh, Gunsmoke was great.
Jim says the Carrot Man. I'm not familiar with the Carrot.
Jim, what is that? When what time period? I don't remember that one.
Have Gun Will Travel.
The-
I wasn't
oh,
a big fan of the westerns back in the day. I
Have
liked the
Gun Will
Wild
Have
Wild
Gun-
West was good, but
These were the 60s. Have Gun Will Travel was Paladin. That was good. He wore a dark hat, but he was a good guy. The other one, you want to talk about, this is really funny. Now I can't. Cheyenne. If you look up the guy who played, I can't think of his name now, but he was a bouncer at a big time nightclub in like Hollywood, right? That's how he got discovered. And well, we got it, we got a show for you. They turned him into a cowboy, right? We looked up because my dad watched all those shows, right? And Teresa and I would watch with my dad and say they're pretty good, they're interesting, fun, I go, is it me, Teresa, or is it like every third, fourth episode they somehow get this guy's shirt off? So we looked it up, like online to see if that was. They worked it into the script that every third episode something would happen that is because the men liked him because he was, a man's man, and women loved him, and kids liked him because he beat up, and he was a good guy, right? But every third to fourth episode, they did something where he had to take his get shot, or his shirt would come off, and it was funny. I can't think of his name.
David C. likes the Coach theme song. I don't remember the theme song. That was
Coach
an interesting show.
CBS.
I watched it a few times and enjoyed Coach.
Coach was on CBS. Dick Van Dyke's brother was on that.
Yeah, that was Jerry.
Jerry. He's passed away. Dick Van Dyke's still alive, mind you. What the hell is Coach's name? Whatever, but that was okay. Do you remember on CBS?
Wasn't he the guy in the horror movie?
Yes. The Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was also he was the coach in All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise. Do you remember a show with Burt Reynolds, Evening Shade? I think it was called Evening Shade. He was a high school football coach, and he had all of his friends.
No.
I used to watch that on CBS. It was kind of fun, but that was good.
I don't remember that. Okay. A couple
Craig
people.
T. Nelson. Thank you, David.
Yeah. Okay.
Dave. Thank you, Carlos. Craig T.
He was
Nelson.
on Married with Children. I'm trying to think who.
Al Bundy, you mean? Ed O'Neill? I Married with Children. That was another great.
That ran a long time.
Fun show. I watched.
I was just out of high school and that show was running, and we used to laugh our butts off at that. And then 15, 20 years later, I was like, it's still on the air. And I've gone off and, I'm, 15, 20 years later. It's like, holy cow.
Funny thing about Married with Children, those two young writers came from Happy Days. Originally, we're going to call it Not the Cosbys. Fox said we can't call them. We're going to get sued, right?
Yeah.
The whole point was it's not the Cosbys, right? Struggling family kind of thing, right? They found all the characters, but they couldn't find the person. The writers were like, nah, not this person for Al, right?
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill, this again, awesome. I recommend if you can find that documentary on that show. They go, the producer says, hey, I got this one guy you want to look, Ed O'Neill. And they go, Ed O'Neill, he's not even a comedian. They go, I think he'll be good for it. They don't even want to see him. And they're not going to do the show, right? And he comes in, Dave, doesn't say a word. You've watched Married with Children, right?
Oh, yeah.
He sits down, he slouches, he unbuttons his pants and does this and goes, like how he used to do on the show? And they went, that's our guy.
He would do that in the show, and the audience would go crazy. That was his signature move. It really was.
And they said, how did you come up with that? And he goes, I just thought of a guy. Because when he read, he goes, oh, this character is going to be fun. And he did Popeye Doyle when they did the TV show, not the movie. The movie was Gene Hackman, French Connection. You ever see French Connection?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of made a TV show. It didn't last long, but he played Popeye Doyle on the TV show. And I guess he had never did comedy. He goes, I read the script. I go, oh, I'd love to do this. Because the guy approached him. He goes, you want to try for it? He goes, yeah, sure. And he goes, he goes, this man's life is just like constipation. And he goes, that's how he came up with it. He goes, oh, I love that show.
It was so good. Yeah.
Do you remember when Bubba Smith was on it? And they did he beat
Oh,
Remember
he
when
had
we
to
talked
get
about
over the
when he
goal
was-
line with the ball. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I like that when they were watching the football game, and Peg was like, you said you'd cut the grass. Like, Peg, the Bears are playing the Rams, and if you lose to the Rams, they kick you out of the league. He had some funny ones there. All righty. Sully, well, thanks for coming by.
Good night.
Thanks for coming by. I got to get back on my drums. I haven't played in a couple of days. I'm giving my my tendonitis a rest in my arms. I'm playing no hockey and no drums for 10 days. Well, no hockey for 10 days. Drums, I'm taking 3 days off. But I'll
Well,
be
yeah,
back on the
because
drums tomorrow.
and
Yeah.
that motion's different.
Yeah,
than what
I
you
have
would do.
severe tendonitis
Yeah.
in both my arms from playing hockey. So I figured no hockey for 10 days, and I'll take a couple days off from the drums, a couple days off from the gym. But I'll be back. Thank you for coming by the way. And I'll be posting more drum videos because
It's very nice to meet
she helped me find a place on the internet there that gives you drum lessons and feedback, and they encourage you to film yourself and put it on their website or put it on YouTube and link it, and
Yeah.
people can kind of talk about how you're coming along, and the idea is to say, here was me 7 days ago, and now look how much better I am, and here I am better. So they encourage you to do these things, and it's kind of fun setting up the cameras and doing the videos and playing along and seeing if you're doing good or doing bad, and it's so fun playing drums. But thank you for coming by tonight. I need to get back on that site and start posting some more things. And John says, not as bad as The Simpsons. Yeah, The Simpsons, they're still on.
still on.
Has anybody watched The Simpsons in the last 15 years? I haven't.
I occasionally watch South Park once in a while. Take care.
Yeah, and Al Bundy threw 4 TD passes. Yep, he did.
You know, it's a fun football movie. Best of Times. Kurt Russell, Robin Williams. They go back to replay the big high school game that they tie 0-0. Again, popcorn fun. It's good movie. If you like that type of sports movie, I recommend it.
Oh, South Park, yes.
South Park is still fun.
No, South Park is still good.
I give those guys credit. You know why? They make fun of everybody, and they're not.
They
afraid.
go every side, both sides, 3 sides. They don't leave any stone unturned.
And I respect that because
They
there are
don't
other
pick
people-
a side. I like how they pick on both sides, especially here in the States. You know what I mean? And it's just,
and they didn't.
you know-
They didn't cow down to China either. So I
No,
like that
yeah.
a lot.
yeah, no, and they just hit some, and there's like current topics that they do, and they do it so well. They really do. They hit everything going on in the world, and they take it and they just push it to the nth
Yep.
degree, and just it's so funny. So many just one-liners coming out of South Park over the years.
Oh,
I-
Wildcats. That was with Goldie Hawn. I like that. That was another high school football movie.
That was all right.
Taft. Okay, so where is it? I just read it. Someone, yeah, because one of the towns where Al. Have you ever looked up the town of Taft? Yes, Finner, I did. Because one was from Taft and one was from Taft was where that's where Robin Williams and Kurt Russell lived, and they were the smaller sort of school, and then like the city school. Oh, what the hell was that other school? I can't remember, but it's fun. It's a fun little movie. Berkshire, Bakersfield. Sorry. So Bakersfield was the richer community, and Taft was the middle class, working class community.
Interesting.
He says Taft is actually in Kern County. That's pretty fun.
You ever see the guy on YouTube that goes to the TV and movie locations and shows you what they look like now?
No, that's interesting.
There was a guy, he went to the Hogan's Heroes location. So he shows like an overhead view of black and white of like where the studio was. And that was surrounded by like highways and houses. And it was in this little gully. And they showed how
Amazing
everything
what they can do, the illusion.
And so
of it.
they would have to film from certain angles so you wouldn't get the telephone poles with the telephone lines in there. And it was kind of neat. And it says, here it is. And they picked up and left. And now I think it's all houses and stuff now they built over. But I mean, it's just funny. Then they showed like where MASH was. They said, here's kind of where MASH was set up. And so it's just fun when they go to all these places. And largely they're overgrown.
Right,
And this and that.
it's in the past.
One that was really good is they did. You remember? I think it was John Carpenter. The Fog. Remember the Fog?
Yes. Yeah.
They went to the Fog locations and one of the houses was still there in the water, and then the church. Remember the church that they had there? The
Been a
church
long
was still
time.
there, but they had added on to it a little bit. But it was neat. He went and visited all these old locations.
North Dallas 40, excellent movie. Highly recommended. Longest Yard, the original, excellent movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
Brian's
like
song. I
Waterboy too,
haven't seen
Brian's
that
song.
one. Yeah, Longest
Both
Yard was good.
they have a newer version. It's good, very good too. Waterboy's fun. I like that one.
Oh, he says he went to see with the Karate Kid department in school. Yeah, there's a few people that do it, but the one guy that I was watching, he went and MASH. He did, I want to say Gilligan's Island. A lot of the stuff that you would know. Some of it hasn't changed much, and some of it's gone. He did one with Jaws, and what's really weird about Jaws
That's near
is,
us. Or did he do the studio, or did he go to when they filmed it out here?
yeah, so he went to Cape Cod, and he says, and so he finds the right angle of like where the roads and the stuff was, and there was one scene where they're all on the beach, right on like the water's edge, and he went there and he goes, the water's like way out there now. It didn't even come up to him, so he had to walk like a good 500 feet to get to the water.
I
Whereas
don't
before,
recommend walking in the water at the Cape anymore.
is it bad? Yeah.
Lots of sharks.
Oh yeah.
Real sharks.
And they made a movie about it.
Yeah.
But they walked around the town and they showed like the diners that they were in, and when he came around the corner and got out of the car and went into the post office, they showed all that. It was kind of neat seeing the sets, what they look like now.
If I remember right, because I've watched documentaries on it and read about it, the shark on one side was just the mechanics, and then the other side had the the look of it, and they had tested it in pool water, fresh water, and it worked fine. Well, now you're in the ocean with salt water.
Yeah, the elements get at it. Yeah,
it would eat away at it. And the shark had a code name, and I can't remember it, but they would be like,
Bruce.
Was it okay? Bruce is down. Bruce is down.
Yeah. They had I went to a thing here probably about 10 or 15 years ago, and it was like this little convention, and it has like double D-list celebrities at these things, people that, and one girl they had, there was a Jaws themed place, and it was Chrissy, the first girl to get killed in the Jaws movie was there.
If I remember, wasn't that the only movie she ever did?
I don't know, but we were talking to her, and like for $20 you could get her to sign a picture of her, and I was like, okay, whatever. But so we just chatted with her, and I was like, when you were in the water doing this, did you ever think like a real shark would come up and get you? It was like, no, the guys were all there and everything was cool, and they just told me to do this, and I just did that. She was like, I was 18 or whatever I was. I was so nonchalant about it.
Did she tell you they didn't like the way it came out, like the sound? They actually put her in a pool after and kept dunking her under.
Oh, really?
Documentary. Wow, look it up. The other fun thing about Jaws was there's a few things. Robert Shaw, they said he acted better when he was drunk, so they got him liquored up.
I think I heard that, yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, Carlos says they thought it was gonna be this horrible movie. Richard Dreyfuss said at the end, this movie's gonna ruin my career, because again, they don't see the final product. They see scenes, oh, it's awful and this and that. And that's one that movie still holds up. The only thing, if they could do it over, just like with Ben-Hur, which is an epic movie, the shark, if you somehow could change the shark a bit, but it is what it is. Ben-Hur, the epic battle scene, you can tell they're models, obviously, but that's the best they could do, What was the other? I
don't remember.
Speaking of documentaries, have you guys seen the new Michael J.? I've heard of it. He's talking about the Parkinson's. Yeah. I have
Carlos
to be.
says Shaw hated Dreyfuss. I did hear that they didn't. Yeah.
What was it? What was it? Another thing about Jaws, when I watched it, the first time I saw it, I didn't see it at the movies, which sucked. But when I ended up watching it when it came on TV, so it's toned down, but it still was in the 70s. When I heard the Indianapolis story, which is true, it goes in the, I remember going to the library and trying to find out everything I could about that, because I was like, did that really happen?
Yeah, I think it did. It's sad that they put that in there.
I'm just saying. So it's a well done movie.
I saw it in the theaters.
Yeah, I wish I did. I
And
didn't.
back in the day, it was a big. I remember having dreams about going, like what the movie's going to
Sharks.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a dream about somebody on a pier that fell in and got eaten by a shark. Because I was like, okay, we're going to go see the movie on whatever day it was.
Yep.
And a few days before, I had a dream about going to see Jaws, and they just had a
I
shark movie.
remember.
That day we went, we saw Jaws, which is what, 75? Was it
Yes.
75?
I think it's 75 because the Bad News Bears came out. It's either 75 or 76. And the Bad News Bears came out in 76. I think it was a year before the Bad News Bears. 75.
I think it was 75. I actually read the book. I read the Jaws book.
Now, the book
It was way
is
different.
different. And it's
Way
actually
different.
better.
Way different. But
It's-
when we saw Jaws in the theater, I was scared crapless. I'm surprised
Yeah.
my parents took me. There was a couple scenes I covered my eyes. I was just so scared as a kid. But
Carlos
we got
is
out of that.
76.
We went over to my grandparents' house because it was
Yeah.
in the summer, and they had a big above ground pool.
And
Big
you didn't want to
pool.
go in it, did you?
And it was nighttime, and we went in there. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. And they're like, you better get in that pool. I'll never take you to a movie again. I'm just like, yeah. I was scared to go in the pool. I was a kid. I was 8 years old.
We saw that on TV whenever, right? Whenever it came to TV, and I was still young. I was the same way. I didn't want to take a bath. I didn't want to. I would look under my bed.
I don't think I've gone in the ocean since. Maybe put my toes in, but I never did the ocean anyway. But after seeing that and seeing the orcas come up on the beach and grab things and go back into the water, it's like, yeah, I
Do
don't
you
go
remember?
on the beach.
Do you remember the movie Orca with
Oh yeah, yeah. I
oh
remember
god, what
Orca.
the hell? The guy who sings "I'll never have that recipe again." I can see him.
I don't know, but I remember Orca.
Yeah.
And Fenner saw the black hole. I remember the black hole. That was okay. Black hole was okay.
Do you remember do you remember in the 70s after Jaws, all the movie studios were trying to come up with a nature.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember
Piranha.
freshwater piranhas. Remember at the that was great. The bear. Do you remember the grizzly? I think it was called. And all you saw was the arm. And at the end, they kill it with a bazooka. I was like, yeah, that's what every ranger has up in the ranger stand, an effing bazooka.
Was that called?
I think it was grizzly. I think it was.
There was
horrible.
another one about a grizzly bear that got into the. They were dumping chemicals into the water. Prophecy. It was called Prophecy,
Oh,
and it was about the bear that was all deformed from the chemicals attacking people.
Did you see Cocaine Bear?
No, not yet. I will.
Oh
I
my
will, though.
god.
I want to see it.
Oh my god, that is. There's some laugh out loud. You just sit there and you go, "This is so disturbingly funny." I don't want to give anything away because
I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Yeah.
It's. I'll tell you this: you watch it if you do watch it, or anybody. It's really good. There's no real rewatch value.
Yeah,
Maybe like certain scenes because it's all like what.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still can't watch any shark movies. There's been a whole bunch of shark movies made, and it's just I just can't watch them. I can't watch anything about the sea. I don't like the sea. I really don't. So you watch Cocaine. All right, we'll wrap this up here, folks. We've been going a long time tonight, but we haven't chatted in a while either. You know, it's been a while since we all kind of got together and did this, so we kind of did a marathon tonight as we go into the wee hours.
Old school.
Yeah, it was kind of an old school chat tonight, wasn't it? A little bit of everything. We went off the rails in a hurry. We went from gaming to 80s themes. I blame Steve Tower for the Joyce DeWitt and bringing all that in.
Yeah, he challenged us.
Yeah, he did. We challenged him back, Anaconda with Ice Cube. Yep, that was a good one.
I like that one. That was a good, like, old-fashioned monster movie. John Voight was a big dude. Oh, he was mean in that. Oof.
I love Voight.
Did you ever see Creature of the Black Lagoon?
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah.
That was good.
That was
I
good.
liked that one.
The day after. Was that like the day after was scary?
Oh, that was the nuclear. Yeah, that
was
scare the
was
crap
it that
out
or was it Threads? There was two of them that come out. Threads. I think there was Threads, and then the day after, yeah, it scared the crap out of you about nuclear war. Yeah, no, that was bad. Yeah, we'll wrap this up here. Thank you everybody for coming
care,
by.
everyone.
I figured it was a weekend night and people were kicking around, just want to hang out here, and Jason Robards was in the day after. Okay, but anyway,
Jason Robards, one of my favorite movies w- Something Wicked This Way Comes.
I think I've heard of that one. Yeah.
It's based on a short story or a book, but good, spooky kind of supernatural thing. Anyway,
You know what? I think I would say one of the creepiest, scariest movies I've seen in the last 10 or 15 years was Lights Out.
Lights Out.
Lights Out I thought it was very well done. It was about this girl, probably in her early 20s, and she moved out of the house because her mother was being weird, but her little brother was still living there, and the father was dead. And it turns out the father ran an insane asylum. Now, anytime an insane asylum's in a movie, it's going to be fantastic.
Right.
And somehow, I don't know if he killed people, somebody died, and the spirit ended up coming home with him, and it was in the house. And the mother of the wife, she was talking to the spirit, and all the everything was covered, all the shades were drawn, and the whole bit. And the only time that you could not be attacked by this thing is if the lights were on.
I'd have the lights on all day.
Well, yeah, so it was like, so this girl went in the house and she's trying to get her brother out, and like you see the shadow, and she like flicks on a light and then it disappears, you know? And it was kind of neat. And there was one scene where the guy was like, the shadow's coming at the guy outside, and he chirps his car and the lights flicker on, and right before she got him, she disappeared again. And all the light switches were duct taped in the on position. You know what I mean? I thought it was a really well done movie. It's called Lights Out. And I still watched it.
That's a little too creepy for me. I'm glad
it was very creepy. You know, it was all about this ghost from the insane asylum that her dad knew. And so this girl's trying to solve the riddle, but it was pretty good.
Someone brought up Michael J. Fox. There's a movie, not as scary, but they had it's supernatural. He pretended to be a what's that called? Like you could see the supernatural, but it had to do with a murder.
A medium or something like that?
Yeah, he was a bullshit artist, but someone wanted him to investigate a murder. Oh, that was so good. And it was out of it had some comedy, but not a lot. It was when he went on that run of movies, you know, after oh my God. Back in Time.
Back to the Future.
Yeah. Then he did Teen Wolf. He did the Vietnam. I think it was before the Vietnam movie. Oh, it was so good. Not Searchers. What the hell is it called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Believers?
Something. Yes. I think it's Believers. Not True Believers. That's with Martin Sheen. That was real creepy. I think it's Believers. It's a pretty good movie.
It was a ghost movie. Yeah.
Yes. Then there's another one. Similar one, like they based it in the 50s. Same thing. Someone murdered a kid, and the little boy would see the ghost. I want to say Woman in Red or something. Woman in White. I can't remember, but that was a good one too. Just because you started talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do horror movies another time. Yeah. But anyway, everyone, thanks for tuning in. A little chat here tonight.
Take care, everybody.
Hopefully we entertained you. Are you entertained?
Are you entertained? Joaquin Phoenix, Gladiator.
It's fun when the chat room kind of directs what we talk about here. It really is.
That's the way I like to do it. That's the way to do it.
Yep, that was a good time.
It was fun. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. Be smart.
Al, thanks for coming on, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of you. I know summers are different over here. I don't stream as much in the summer myself just because of the heat and things going on.
If I may, I might be doing a chat tomorrow. It's funny because I was going to do a chat.
Was it
tonight.
The Frighteners?
That's
it. Okay.
That's
nice job. Nice job.
It's a good movie.
Oh my God, the Saw movies are crazy. They really are.
They've done.
I thought it was believable. Saw is crazy too. Yeah.
I saw the first one. That was. Woo.
Yeah, that was nuts. Is that the one you want to play a game?
Yes.
I think that's the one. Yeah. All righty.
No.
On that note,
No, I don't.
we'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.